Push it.
Hello.
Push it real good.
And welcome to the Destiny Community Podcast, episode number 104.
Episode ASMR.
ASMR?
Yeah, ASMR.
Oh, ASMR.
ASMR
I thought you said SMR.
I thought you said
like,
Escobar.
yeah,
like
Pablo?
Pablo.
Pablo Escobar?
No,
The episode
I wasn't
about
ready
Pablo
for that much
Escobar.
cocaine, but here we go.
Yeah,
with the
time for a deep dive, guys.
Podcast. Here we go. Talk about my ass, doesn't?
So Hope Bear will be joining us later.
Yep.
And Bungie.
With the Bungie raid team.
That's right.
So that's going to happen in hour 2. So hour 1, we're going to talk about Pope behind his back. In hour 2,
And Nutty
Pope
Buddies.
will respond.
Nutter Butters. What is it that you have?
And Nutty Buddies.
Is it Nutty Buddies or
Nutty
Nutter
Buddy.
Butters?
Nutty Buddy.
That's what it is? Okay. I don't know. It's been a long time, man. I was a kid when I had those.
Briar's hoarding them.
I just found it on my computer. I don't even know how it got there.
Suspicious Nutter Butter. Nutty Buddy.
Mm-hmm. Who has been not eating Nutty Buddies in my office?
Ah, recipe for disaster right there. So, what's going on in the Destiny world, guys? Stuff?
Oh, boy.
Things and stuff?
What hasn't been going on? We got a dungeon. A dungeon
We got
happened
a
in Destiny.
Dungeon.
Like an actual, and they call it a dungeon too.
Thank
it's not,
God it's an actual
it's called
dungeon.
the Shattered Throne Dungeon.
Yes, and it's phonamenal. Did you guys, everybody do it and complete it?
I didn't do it yet.
Yes.
Casual, Briar. Jesus.
Raising my hand.
Watts, what did you think
Yes.
going in and experiencing the dungeon?
Can you describe it real quick? Like for those of us who haven't run
It's
it.
very dark.
It is dark, yeah.
It's very taken. Lots of taken. So when I first got in there, you go in and there's symbols, like the symbols that are in the raid, and I was just like, oh no. Oh no. I wrote every single one down because I was like, what if Riven just appears and instead of eyes, she's got symbols and we have to shoot them?
This sounds terrifying.
Exactly. I was terrified. But it was I think the first time it took us about an hour 40 because I was playing with people that were 540 and lower.
Ooh, yikes. It's a 590
It's a
encounter.
580.
Yes,
What?
we got to the 590 part and I was like, guys,
You have to swap you out for some
we
big
may need
boys.
to. This might be a little difficult for you.
Yeah, what's amazing is this
You
is
have
this
to pull up your
content.
pampers for this one.
This is content that is technically after the raid. So like you do the raid,
It's more
raid level, and then this is a hard 3-man mini raid, essentially.
Right. It's got like raid-like encounters too,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
It does.
Can you guys describe the first one? I don't want to do too spoilery for people who haven't actually gotten a chance to do it. But like, what kind of raid encounter are we talking here? And you can be pretty.
So
general.
the first part is, like I said, you see the symbols around. So
Yeah.
one will light up, and that kind of tells you the symbol that you need to go and find. So you're walking around this taken kind of throne world, and you are looking for these symbols. And when you find the right symbol, there's going to be like a protector of that symbol. You have to kill him, and then it shows you another symbol that then you have to go around and find the same symbol. So you're doing that for the first part. You're kind of just looking around at symbols and trying to match them and kill the guys, and hopefully they don't kill you because they hurt.
And if you haven't looked at Reddit, you'll stumble upon like a relic and be like, there's a relic here. I wonder what this does. Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
And then it has nothing to do with the encounter until later, which is awesome.
Later.
So
Yeah.
secrets. So you find secrets in the freaking dungeon room while you're also doing it. It's so cool. Yeah. The scope of it feels like a bigger Crota's End. Like you take Crota's End,
Really?
you double it. That's what it
Honestly,
feels like. The scope and the size.
Is
It's
it
got
like
to the
raid
point with
lair size?
Forsaken stuff.
Yes.
Oh, it's crazy. It's gotten to the point with Forsaken stuff that's being shown, and I'm like, how did you guys afford to make this? This place is huge, and this is just like a little extra thing for us to do. It's just like an extra dungeon. It's not a raid.
Right.
It's
How are the
an
rewards?
extra an activity.
Fantastic. There's power.
Yeah.
There's tiered rewards as you progress. So you get through like the first part, second part, and then the third part. Each one of those has a drop, like a raid.
Nice. Oh, so there's 3 like major encounters?
Yeah, right? Wasn't there? There's the first one with the symbols.
And then there's the
Ogre.
very Dark Souls-esque
Right.
when you're walking on the
Yep.
and the slow room with the
Yeah.
thralls.
Yeah, there's a lot of encounters to this.
And then there's the ogre.
This is definitely my new motion for Thrall.
And then there's the and then there's the part that you get to that was in a trailer, and we were wondering when we were going to see that part.
Right.
With the knights and the wizard.
Yes, yeah. Well, there's the ogre thing though after the whoosh, whoosh part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The scratchy.
What would you guys recommend for light levels going in, like a full fire team?
It depends on your aptitude for PvE. So if you enjoy a really difficult challenge, go in there at like 550, 560, and you'll have a challenge. Like, yeah.
Really? It's that hard?
Oh, I mean, the end goes up to 590.
The end is 590.
Yeah.
The end is higher than the raid.
Yeah. That's like, it technically is content that's stepped after the raid. That's what's really interesting about this.
Yeah.
So like,
that's crazy. Yeah. That's amazing.
And the end part is, those, you've been to the Ascendant world and fought those knights before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, imagine being in a small area with 3 of those knights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
A very, very small area with also a wizard shooting you and also Thrall Scions spawning.
What is the loot? Is it raid loot or is it Dreaming City loot? What kind of loot does it give out?
Is it Dreaming
I think it's Dreaming
City
loot, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Dreaming City.
So high level Dreaming City.
Yeah, powerful engram, Dreaming City level loot. But then at the end of it, you get the quest to go find the Wish Ender, the exotic bow, which is cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's a really cool touch? Is this too spoilery about the statue with the bow?
You know what? Here's the thing. If you listen to this podcast, this is up to date information about Forsaken. Right. So you might want to put this on pause and come back.
Let's just have at
Yeah, we should just jump in, honestly.
There's a really cool thing that doesn't affect gameplay or anything, but it's just a really cool touch where when you first visit the statue, she's got quivers on her back and she's holding a bow. And then when you do all of the stuff to get the Wish Ender and you acquire the Wish Ender and you go and see her again, she's not holding the bow. So I thought that was really cool.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I thought that was really cool to see that.
Now you have the bow. That's cool. Yeah. I did see the bow itself has a statue on it, and like the statue lights up, or the sword on the statue lights up as it charges.
Yes.
This bow has to be one of the best looking exotics ever.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And you like
the
it?
Ornament. Okay, the bow is trash, but
it does extra damage to take it.
But it has been confirmed that it is bugged.
Yes.
So on fast-moving targets, it's not doing as much damage as it should be doing.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's going to make it any better. We'll have to see when it's actually fixed and then try it again. But it has a really slow draw time.
Yeah.
That's the complaint I keep hearing. Is
you headshot people and they just run away because you can't do a quick follow-up. That's in
the Crucible, though, right?
Yeah. Right, in the Crucible. But even then, in PvE, it's like you're taking so long to draw that thing back that are you really going to use it? And I might as well use one of the other bows that has Archer's Tempo and Rampage and
Arsenic Bite's pretty hard to beat when it comes to bows.
It's really good.
Yeah.
The draw time is the complaint I keep hearing, and like some people were really looking forward to having kind of like that true sight or the wall hack ability, but it seems like you got to be aiming down sight to get it, and the Guardians like move out of the way so fast that it's very easy to lose track of Guardians unless you got like a long hallway.
Yeah, it's situational, honestly. I mean, it's a really cool effect. Also, it's the only way that you can shoot the eggs around the Dreaming City. So those eggs that are immune?
Yeah.
That's officially the way that you crack them is with the Wish Ender.
And you get Dreaming City gear from those.
Yeah, you get a drop. Yes. Apparently, there's a triumph, I believe, if you crack all the eggs. Make an omelet.
And some of them are hidden, right? There's like one that's hidden in the raid that we know about.
Yeah, they're definitely hidden, which is
there's at least one in each Ascendant challenge too. So we're gonna have to wait for those to come back around.
Is this like a next level Easter egg? Eggs within eggs. Easter egg egg.
It's not even Easter.
But yeah, you're right. Okay. The bow, it's definitely a little bit of a miss. Like, it looks like a heavy bow. And this thing, like, when you see it in your character, it's the size of your Guardian. Like,
does it go in your energy slot?
No, it goes in your kinetic.
No, it's a kinetic.
Yeah.
Kinetic.
It looks like one of the bows that you would get in Dark Souls. That would be like this massive bow that like the knights would be using to just one-shot you or something.
A long bow.
Yeah. So I kind of wish that they would have like doubled down on and put it in like the heavy slot and just made it like some insane heavy bow that
would actually be very cool to have a heavy bow where you could just go actually one shot headshot people.
Yeah.
That charge time would make sense then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I'm not finding any benefit of having such a long draw time. It doesn't do more damage. You know, Arsenic Bite currently is doing a lot more damage than this bow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm getting a payoff for having this very slow draw methodical.
Because you have to give up Whisper, you have to give up Sleeper, you have to give up Ace of Spades. Like there's so many top tier exotics that take up that you're giving up for the Wish Ender, which has a very situational perk of being able to see through walls. So
and even when you see them come around the corner, you can't kill them because you headshot them and they just run away.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like you can be in their face with the bow because it's such a slow play style with that bow. So you have to be at a distance and then they just run away.
Yep.
So
could you possibly like use it and then switch quickly to a hand cannon or something? Is that
you can. It's just if you're using it to look through walls and you're hitting them as soon as they peek the wall, they're just going to run back behind.
Right next to the wall. Yeah. So that makes sense.
Yeah. I'd say
one thing that go ahead.
I was just going to say for PvP, I don't think this thing is going to become any kind of like top contender, even if they were to fix the draw time. But for PV,
it should.
I know it should, right? It's exotic. For PvE, it is it does extra damage to Taken, and it's pretty satisfying. I mean, you can see like the extra stuff crit with it, or the extra hits because of the piercing. You can like pierce a line of enemies right down and get crits and all that, and get exit damage. And if they're taken, like I said, you get an extra bonus on there. So that's pretty cool, even with it being bugged right now. And you can obviously you can ADS and then see, oh, there's a whole bunch of enemies around here. I'm just, can shoot this. So and
it's over penetrates too. So like if a group of enemies, you could hit 2 or
that's what I'm saying. You can like kill a line.
I will say what I'm pretty disappointed about with that is it doesn't go through the Phalanx's shield. If it went through the Phalanx's shield, I'd be like, cool. Okay, now that like really gives me a reason to use it because I can protect my team and shoot those down before they boop everybody.
Yep.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that it's kinetic. I wanted to have like a flavor like Void Energy or something, so you could pop a Void Shield with it as well. But
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So if you do want the Wish Ender after this glowing review,
yes,
you got to get it quick, or you got to wait 3 weeks to get it. Right?
Yeah, it goes away at reset.
Yeah,
it was revealed today in the Bungie Weekly update that what we're seeing the changes in the Dreaming City are on a 3-week cycle. So at next Tuesday on reset, it's going to reset to what it was like week 1 before anybody did the raid, and it'll just kind of cycle through this. So any activity or any changes are going to be reset. Yeah. So I assume that is with the Blindwell as well.
Do you guys know? Right?
I would assume so. Yeah.
Is there like a secret 5th level for the Blindwell this week? Anybody find out anything like that? All I know is
the only one I know of is the 4th level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed in that. I wanted to see like a 5th level get unlocked that has like unique loot that potentially could be dropped just from the well.
That would be really cool. Maybe they can add stuff like that because that would be something that would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
But now we're on an infinite 3-week cycle, which apparently is all being orchestrated by Savathun. And Savathun is growing stronger with every cycle that we
Big
do.
Sav?
So we're having to do this cycle to keep the Dreaming City, because if we don't kill all of the corruption in the Dreaming City, we lose the Dreaming City. But by doing it, we're making Savathun stronger.
Wow.
So basically, when we fight Savathun, if that ever happens, we are screwed.
Have you got a DM going with Bife right now?
I watched a video. I watched a Bife video.
Let's just say the video was
I gotta
watched.
say, Bife and Myelin have been my go-to because the lore that's going on right now is, for the first time in Destiny that I can remember, it's like right in your face.
Yeah.
But I still want to know more. I want the details. And these guys making the videos right now that they're doing the deep dive into the lore has been really fascinating right now.
So good, right?
It's been great because we know little bits and pieces about like Inkaru and stuff like that, but then finding out more information about who is this being and why are they here and how did they get here? It's really interesting.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
Myelin put out one.
I want to know more.
Myelin put out one, I think it was today, it might have been yesterday, about how the queen became awoken and like it was really good. It was really interesting.
I'm gonna have to watch that. That sounds awesome.
It's a good watch. It's a good watch.
Yeah. Before we move on to other things that happen in Destiny, the quest for the Wish Ender. Once you complete that Shattered Throne, that is not. That's not it for the Wish Ender. You got.
Make sure you talk to the statue.
Yes.
For the love of God.
Talk to the statue. If you go through, this, especially if you're under light level and you work hard to get to that point, do not forget to talk to the statue.
Talk to the statue.
That begins the quest for the Wish Ender. And then you have to go jump through some hoops. You do some questing. And then ultimately you come back to the Shattered Throne and do some secret stuff in there, which we don't really need to reveal what those secrets are on this podcast. But it's really cool that you have to actually go back into
butt stuff?
There's some butt stuff in there. There's some balls. All right.
This is the DLC of balls.
Yeah, there's a lot of ball touching that you have to do in it.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, I love quests like that. Like this is kind of what they did with Whisper, with the Whisper quest, where you got the Whisper, and then you had to go back in to do stuff to get the ship and also get the masterwork and all that. So maybe in the future they could evolve it further, where if Wish Ender got masterworked, what if the masterwork for Wish Ender was draw time got decreased?
And Archer's tempo.
Yeah. Archer's tempo and like draw time, and maybe had some sort of explosive thing happen with the Taken. Like that would be really cool.
Just add all of the bow perks onto Wish Ender for its catalyst.
It's just
that's what I want.
A God roll bow cocktail.
I like it. That sounds good.
Yeah, in that. So they've taken that aspect of what they did with Whisper and kind of doubled down to make it like a secret in that dungeon, which is awesome. Like I love stuff like that. I want to see them further go down that road and just do more of that. Like I'm really hoping that this isn't the only dungeon that we're going to see for a while. Like I want them to continue to release dungeons in this, like maybe something for the Black Armory and like, you know?
Yeah, if we could get different new dungeons every DLC, that would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's great
because then we get a raid lair and a dungeon. It's really good and it's beautiful.
It serves a different purpose than a raid, right?
Yes.
It's like you only need 3 guys to do it. You don't need a 6-man fire team. It's a different purpose.
There's another thing too. There's actually triumphs. I didn't check this. I didn't verify it. Chat told me this, so could be wrong.
I've looked at it.
There's triumphs. I believe there's triumphs in there that for soloing it and also soloing it with no deaths as well.
Yes.
Oh.
So again, it's hard content for PvE that they also designed to be 1, 2, 3 people instead of a full 6-man raid that is required to do that end level content. So Bungie realizes that there's like this divide right now in PvE of like people who only solo stuff or only have like 1 or 2 friends that play and don't do anything else. And then, communities being grown from raiding together. And like, they realize that they need to put some stuff in there for the solo players. And this is a fantastic solution for that. I mean, you're not going to get the raid gear. You're not going to get raid weapons, but you're going to get like a great experience from this dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
What else? Oh, the Malfeasance quest hit as well this week.
Oh boy.
That is a weird quest. It starts off with you just with RNG, basically. You got to get
RNG on top of RNG, and then there's like some more RNG.
Yeah.
Right? You got to get lucky enough to get a certain boss as a primeval in Gambit, and then you got to win that. You got to kill it. So you can't lose that.
The meatball.
Is it round or match? I think it's just the round, right?
It's the round.
You just have to beat.
I think there's a chance of it being the next round, but I've also seen it not happen the next round, and people would be devastated.
So wait, no, the primeval just randomly picks the primeval, right? Yeah, per round, and you have to defeat that primeval. If you get the space meatball, you have to defeat the meatball, and then you get the quest for Malfeasance. Yeah, you don't have to win the match; you just have to beat it.
Well, you have to win that round, though. If you're going to beat
you have to win the round, yeah.
primeval, you have to beat.
You got to win the round, but you don't have to actually beat the team officially.
Right.
For the,
not for the match, but you got to beat them for that round.
For that round, yeah, and then it should drop the quest.
Some people got it in their first match. Some people played for like 15 hours and still haven't seen it.
I played a decent amount last night. Haven't seen it. Yeah. It's interesting.
I played a little bit today, but I didn't see it. But I'm not in a super rush to get this one either because I'm not hearing great things about this gun either.
Yeah.
I have heard mixed things. There's some people that really love the feel of the hand cannon because it's super accurate, like zero recoil at all, just stays in one spot, looks really great. Some people are using it with the warlock pants that reload your gun, and they're just like sitting in there and just like shooting boss, because it allows you to just put those pelts into it that does extra damage to Taken. So some people are in love with the gun. Other people are like, again, why would I give up Whisper or Sleeper for?
It's the problem, right?
That is always the problem when you have like super powerful weapons like that. It's like, I mean, it looks amazing. I think it's one of the best designed hand cannons they've ever made, and they've made some real good ones. Like, it looks absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And the perk is cool. I don't love the 100. I know this is not a super popular opinion, especially right now. I don't love the 180 rate of fire hand cannons in general. I don't like the recoil pattern, and they just kind of feel weird to me.
It has no recoil pad. Doesn't even move.
Just the way the gun like bucks instead of like fling up like this, it kind of like
doesn't even do anything.
It goes back. Oh, really? It doesn't do that at all?
It's the gun basically, it just doesn't move, it's pretty crazy to watch that recoil.
And then the perk on it is what? The 5th shot that lands causes a large explosion.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, you can like put your bullets into the enemies, and then the 5th shot explodes it and does all the damage to it, and does extra damage to Taken.
That's really cool. It does seem like, you got Luna's Howl, which is still a challenge for some people to go after, but the perk on Luna's Howl is technically better, and that's a legendary gun than this exotic, right?
Right.
Yeah. That could be a problem.
You could run both.
That's true.
You could.
Yeah, you could double up on it. Yeah, do you think the recoil actually might be bugged since it's not moving?
No, I think that's.
You think it was just straight up intended that it was not going to move? It was just going to stay there?
I think so. Yeah,
interesting.
So.
They've never done a gun like that before with 0 recoil.
It just doesn't move. I would like it. I want it.
I want it too. I spent a fair amount of time in Gambit yesterday. Didn't have it spawn once. Do you think they're going to adjust the spawn rate after time? Like maybe they're like measuring in how many meatballs show up into the Destiny universe?
Maybe.
I gotta say, I'm not in love with this mechanic for getting this gun. This is the second gun that you've had to do something weird in Gambit for. The first, or not the first curse. Why do I always call it the first curse? Ace of Spades being the first one. And it adjusts the way that players are playing the playlist. And like, I really just want to play Gambit, right? Like, I'm really into this game mode, but it's kind of like you've got these like players who aren't doing any motes at all because they want to get their Ace of Spades. Now they kind of fixed that. Now Malfeasance is in there. It's like, it's kind of weird when they force players to play a little differently than just trying to win. Although the Malfeasance, at least you're still trying to win, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
You're trying to burn your primeval.
Yeah. Which is, how you win.
I think the problem right now is that Gambit is like just flooded with Sleeper Simulant, and if you don't want to shoot or be shot with Sleeper Simulant, then it can be a little bit of a salty experience. So the first day I went in, I wasn't really wanting to adopt the Sleeper Simulant, and I started getting a little salty. I was like, I can't play this anymore. I have to stop. Then the next day I came in, I was like, okay, I'm equipping the Sleeper and saying, screw it. You're going to get Sleepered or I'm going to get Sleepered. I don't care at this point. I'm going to see if I want this damn meatball to show up. I'm going to do it. I had a better time, but still, like, after a while, you get Sleepered enough, you kind of get sick of that game mode.
Yeah, it just makes it less satisfying rather than putting on like, Queen Breaker and a sniper, something fun where you could go in and you pull off these really awesome shots and you feel great about it. You're like, oh, look, I sleepered someone. It was so hard. Oh,
yeah. Oh my God, I was aiming at your crotch and I got a headshot. Oh boy.
I have been going in with like a double sniper rifle loadout. I use the Crucible sniper and I use the Whisper. I do like that a lot. And have you guys gotten the new map in Gambit?
Yes. The cathedral.
Where it's in the Dreaming City, yeah. And there's like these, I don't know if they're stained glass windows, but you can basically see out of them. So you can see if somebody's like aiming a sleeper around because it's like super noticeable. It's this big red light that like it's hard to miss. So it's kind of fun to kind of just dance in front of that door, watch them like hit the glass with a sleeper, and then pop out and try and snipe them while they're charging it for the next one.
Nice, yeah.
I like that quite a bit.
And if you're really tired of Sleeper, use the new Arc Strider Super and just bounce it back at them and laugh.
That's cool.
Have you been playing a lot with that?
It's my favorite subclass now at this point. And my only goal in life is to reflect things back at people. Your hammers, your golden guns, your sleepers. It's all I want to do. I just want to shoot.
Titans can do that with those new boots, right?
Yeah, you have to slide.
Yes.
The slidey boots. Does that work against the sleeper?
Yeah.
I'm sure it would. Yeah. It reflects everything, right? Yeah. That'd be good.
Do you have the slidey boots?
I have the slidey
You
boots.
got them?
Put them on, Gambit, and just slide at everybody. Just
montage sleeper reflection. That would be lit. Yeah.
I actually got lucky. I got another exotic today. Oh, I got the Hunter exotic that gives you extra throwing knife charge.
Oh, Ophidius Faith? Yeah. You didn't have that yet?
No.
No, that was Warmind.
Oh. Well, it was pretty unimpressive, I gotta say.
Oh, really?
The double dodge one is new.
Okay.
Which is works somewhat similarly on me.
Hold up, Briar.
Yeah.
Last week was Solar. I jumped into the I jumped in the strikes when it was Brawler, and if you throw that chest piece on and you rock Way of 1,000 Cuts, you are a knife chucking god. Like, I didn't shoot any bullets. I just chucked knives. I got like 150 kills.
That sounds fun.
It was amazing. Like,
I did it in the well, and I was not impressed.
Yeah. Well, okay. So Brawler, when you have Brawler with the ×3 cooldown, playing with fire ×3, you were literally chucking knives like this. Just chucking them. And as long as you get a kill, it resets that timer. And with Brawler and Solar, it like stacked. So you can literally just chuck. You get to a boss, chuck. It was incredible, honestly. It was some of the most fun I've had in a strike in a long time, with just literally chucking knives. I'm going to have to watch
for that combo to come back.
Oh, it was so good. You become Genji, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, and the knives do so much damage too. So it's actually a viable thing. You're not just running around throwing potatoes at people.
I love that subclass. That subclass is my new favorite.
Yeah, and when you
I like it in PvP and PvE. Exactly, I like the knives. I like the super. I like everything about it, really.
Yeah. And then when you're in the middle of chucking knives constantly, and you're like, "Oh, it's a big dude," and I got my super, 6 knives that explode, and a cool animation.
You know, when it initially dropped, I thought it was the one that recharges your super, like on hits for the 6 knives, and I was really excited. And then I read the description, I'm like, oh.
I want to get the blades or knives of whatever it is of Galanor. I want that.
Yeah.
The gloves.
It's pretty crazy.
I want it so
Is that
bad.
the one that recharges your super?
Yes, for your 1,000 cuts.
Okay. That's okay.
It's like the Ophidian. No, it recharges on hits and kills. So like you get super back if you get hits, you get even more super back if you get kills with it, which sounds incredible. I want those gloves so bad, man.
Yeah, I want those too.
Yeah, shards of
and
Galanor.
Some new exotic weapons would be cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's not that many.
No, there's not. They are going to up the drop rate, it sounds like, or they're going to give a higher percentage chance of getting new exotics.
Yes.
Coming to a Destiny game near you. They mentioned that in the weekly update this week.
So not an increased drop rate of stuff happening, but when one does drop, you can maybe get a little more excited because it's going to be more likely that it's a new one that you don't have.
Yeah.
Right.
Until somebody on Reddit's like, this is my 5th Ace of Spades.
Yeah. Well, that's been happening. A lot of people have been getting Lord of Wolves like dropping consistently. Yeah. So that you get it once and then all of a sudden it'll start. It's like I'm sure it's RNG, but
yeah, man, I got my chaperone waiting for me. I haven't pulled it because I know it's going to be in my loot pool.
Just
if I pull it.
Leave it in the loot pool forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to pull mine for our first raid because it was my highest kinetic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I yanked it for that. But I was just sitting there watching it go. You know, it started off in the 520s, 530s.
Yeah.
539.
Now we just stop in by Amanda. Hey, what's the light level?
All right, we're going to the raid. Now or never.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good that they're doing that. I mean, I don't want the feeling of exotics being rare to go away, but I do think if you get like another Jade Rabbit, like lame, right? You should have higher chances of getting the new stuff if you do see when those exotics drop.
You know what I'd like to see them implement is like a time system where, like at the beginning of a DLC, everything's super rare, but as you get toward like the middle and the end of the DLC, like things start dropping a little more frequently, so that like coming into a brand new DLC, like you're kind of starting from okay, like now I'm looking forward to the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of talking about that with catch-up mechanics in the Iron Banner for the TWAB, and like I could definitely see them expanding that overall to RNG things that are really rare. So like if they know that things are going to move on and crest over to the next DLC, and maybe some windows are going to become impossible, it would be nice if they increase some of those drop rates for people who are just jumping in.
Yeah.
Some catch-up mechanics.
Over time. Like at first, it's ultra rare, and if you got it, you're lucky, and a month in, it gets a little less rare, and then we got a DLC coming out once every quarter this year.
Yep.
Yeah. When did you get your first exotic when you played Destiny 1?
It was pretty quick, actually. I got it in the Crucible.
Oh, really?
I got the Thunderlord, and I didn't even know what exotics were, and I got the Thunderlord to drop at the end of a Crucible match.
I think mine was fairly early because I got Hard Light somewhat early from Crucible as well. But I had no idea what it was. I know. I was just like, what is this? An exotic? Supposed to be awesome. Let me use it. I hate it.
Yeah, I didn't. Mine wasn't. I think it was Universal Remote, and it was the raid chest. Was the first one that like dropped. So it was kind of rare for me.
Chest, really?
Yeah.
The Thunderlord was an awesome first exotic to get because if you remember way back in Destiny 1, if you played Rumble and you got heavy, you basically have heavy for the rest of the Rumble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You were murdering people with that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that thing was awesome.
I like the feeling of exotics being like a oh my god moment, and I like the fact that they can drop from essentially anywhere at this point, from a thrall to a end of a PvP match. So I like that. So I don't want them to get rid of that. So I'm glad that they're not just immediately being like, okay, you guys aren't getting enough exotics.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Let's definitely keep the excitement of the drop.
I like this much better because they said that their goals for exotics was they wanted when one to drop for you to be excited, but the fact that people were getting so many duplicates was making them less excited. So they just want to try and make sure you're less likely to get duplicates.
Yeah,
so I think that's definitely the right way to go.
They drop so infrequently that it'd be nice to get.
Yeah.
It's something new.
Exactly, especially with being able to print them out.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I think it'd be nice if they put something in there as well. Like, let's say the higher light level you are, the more likely it was to give you a new exotic. Because right now, a new exotic or an exotic drop is like, oh, light gains, great. But once you get close to 600 and then you get a duplicate, it's literally going to be like, well, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. So, what else is going on? Malfeasance, Shattered Throne.
The Dreaming City has like shadow balls everywhere.
Yes.
Dripping, taking juices.
It's really cool seeing them evolve that play space.
Yeah. I wonder if that'll be a theme that we see like moving forward, or if this was just a one-time deal. The Dreaming City just kind of set itself up for it.
I hope so. I hope they stick with either just evolving the Dreaming City and keeping that thing going, or adding end game locations frequently and having it be something that we evolve. Because I think it was super cool that when the raid was finished, it started this whole thing. I think that was amazing. I think that's a really, really cool way to get the whole community behind the raid being finished. You can now that you know that's happening, you can tune into World's First and be like, oh, what are they going to unlock? This is so exciting.
Yeah, it's really cool.
This is the first time that after a raid, I still feel like I want to level up my character and like kind of engage in like the milestones and the power leveling stuff. Normally, when a DLC drops or when the base game dropped, I go hard, the raid hits, we finish the raid, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. Whether it's Crucible or, I have no... Some people like to see that number, like hit like the max number, like whether that be 400 or 300 or 200, whatever that is. I don't have that at all. But now there is a significant reason for me to keep leveling up my character. Even though I've done the raid, I want to do, the dungeon. I want to do, blind well can be difficult at a low level. I want to do Iron Banner. I want to do, Gambit, right? There's power matters in Gambit. And I think that's interesting. It's a reason to keep playing or keep engaging with the milestones and the power rewards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, I'm looking to hit 600, and then beyond that, I'm looking to curate builds for specific things.
Yeah, your Gambit armor, your PvP armor, your raid armor, your linear fusion rifle armor, your sniper.
I ended up doing that yesterday, and I felt like a scumbag for it. I was like, all right, shotgun scavenger, linear fusion rifle scavenger. And now I pick up a brick and I get like 5 or 6 sleeper shots, and I'm like, this is disgusting. What the hell,
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
But that like hunt to build things is incredibly exciting, and we finally have it back. Yeah. We had a year of it not existing essentially.
And it does make you feel more powerful. Mm-hmm. Like, different pieces of armor can make you feel significantly more powerful.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Every drop I get, it doesn't matter if it's power drop or not. I am looking at the perks.
You're checking it. Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly. We did have a certain Mara Sov.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. A lot of glitter on her. Where has she been exactly?
Shaking it?
I want her shader. She got hotter. Maybe it's because she's in her own world, so she's like,
yeah.
Create myself a little bit cuter, Got some glitter on me.
She had some adjustments.
Her room.
She had some work done.
She had some work done, honestly.
That's why she's been gone for so long. She's been healing up.
I was surprised. I did not expect to. So for those that don't know, once you do the Oracle offering this week, I don't know if it's tied to it being this week with the corruption, or if you've done it 3 times in a row. It's probably tied to this week being corruption. You go do the Oracle offering, it opens up a portal to go meet with Marasov in person.
Yeah, it's a little concerning because you don't see the chest pop up.
Yeah,
I know. I'm like, where's the chest?
Yeah,
and if you're oblivious to things like me and you're reading chat, just kind of glance it over, waiting for the chest, because that chest was on like a 15-second delay anyway. So I just kind of like, where's my chest? What's going on here?
There's a bright light in front of me. What
the
hell?
In the distance?
I was surprised, man. You go through there. I mean, her throne world is. Well, I guess it's her. I don't know the lore of it. Like her place that she's chilling at.
Her space place.
Yeah,
is great.
Her space place is pretty amazing. Like it's classic Bungie with like an amazing skybox and super sweeping design and.
Yeah.
And you can get your seat of light, your 3rd seat of light from her.
Yes.
If you haven't done the raid
yet. If you didn't do the raid.
Not just tied to the raid. You can do your offering and you can get it like that. And you can just do tier 1s to complete your offering bounty. So it's not super out of reach for people.
No. The tier 4 right now though is super fun.
Yeah. Oh, it's the really meatball again, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the meatball. It's a fun one.
That thing dies so quick.
I think maybe that's why I think it's fun. Just blasting that thing.
Yeah, it just falls on over into death. Yeah.
They remind me of those things from Doom, like that big round monster from Doom.
Yeah.
It's very similar.
Cacodemon. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, those things are.
Lots of people call it space anus. I'm just like
space butthole. Yeah. I don't know. That's pretty big for a butthole, man.
It's pretty gross for a butthole. Your butthole looks like. I know you said space anus.
Does your butthole have teeth?
I question your hygiene. I think we might have to have a.
Yeah.
Are you a front wiper or a back wiper? Because
it's like a round. It looks more like a meatball to me, honestly.
It looks like a meatball.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't eat that obviously because it looks disgusting, but. It's the first thing. It's the first thing that comes on my mind.
It's something they would have served in Indiana Jones Temple of Doom.
Yeah. I wonder how many other times we're going to see the meatball show up.
I don't know. Is that the 3rd occurrence of it?
Yeah. Yes. Campaign, Gambit, and now Blendwell.
Okay.
Yep.
Are we just going to suddenly see the meatball show up like next to Spider? And be
just randomly? He's going to have a public event. Just going to be like, what's up, guys?
Public event meatball would be awesome. Actually, that's the type of stuff that I wanted for like secrets, like a secret public event to show up that was rare.
Yeah.
In fact, I guess that's kind of how
there is one on the
kind of what
City.
Gambit is.
Yeah, it's kind of what Gambit is at this point, and I kind of wish that they had done maybe something similar for the Tangled Shore.
There's one on the Dreaming City that doesn't pop up that often, but it's like the 3 Forsaken captains that you got to kill and then keep their ether from like coming into the middle. You got to shoot all their ether. And then if you do that, the heroic version spawns the mechanic or mechanist or whatever it is. One of the barons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's not secret, but it feels pretty special the first time you see it.
Yeah, Ether Harvest was in Tangled Shore also, though.
Does it spawn the mechanist in Tangled Shore?
I don't know, actually.
I think, is it the machinist that it spawns? I think it is I think so. I think so.
Yeah, I think it spawns the machinist as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen as often.
Yeah. You don't see it. You don't see that public event pop up that often.
Yeah. This is one of the things I always wish they had done is like tie in certain rewards that are exclusive to these type of events. So when you see one, when you're going about your business, and you see that public event, you're like, oh, I might get the thing that I want because it's rare. It might, happen if you do that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
this is very off. Well, it's not off topic. It's off topic. So what I really want them to do, because PC and Xbox does not have the Brood Queen strike, I would love it if they had the heroic adventure for the Mindbender and then have the Brood Queen be a part of that because they are, breeding.
Oh.
They're brooding. So I think that would be really cool if she just showed up in the heroic version and then everyone gets to see her because her design is amazing and she splits herself into she's a hive and also a shadow. It's really cool. So I think if she just showed up and they do a little high five or
awesome.
something, and
I want to play that strike.
Yeah, you will
really cool,
in 1 year.
You get the lore about it too. Yeah. You get the lore about it where they actually talk about the Mindbender and it's really
wow. That's cool. Did we actually last week? Did we talk about the new strike that they add with the Dreaming City?
I don't know if we did.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Well, I hadn't played it at that time. I got to play it this week finally, and once again, Bungie just doubling down on amazing content that they've been adding in this.
It's insane.
It really is. From the Shattered Throne to that strike, it keeps unfolding.
I like how it keeps unfolding. It's like over time we're getting more content, right? So every time I log in, or at least every week, it's like there's more stuff. There's different stuff.
Yes.
And that's really fun.
Yeah.
That's how it felt during the Taken King, and to a certain extent, the Iron Lords. Which one was that?
Rise of Iron.
Rise of Iron. I like that feel. Whereas over time, new stuff is happening. You're checking Reddit. You're seeing what your friends are up to. You hear somebody get all excited. Oh my God! You got to see what's going on. On the side of this cliff, there's a Taken portal that brings you into a dungeon.
Yeah, so cool.
I really love it. And we're gonna have Festival of the Lost coming up pretty soon. And they said that there's going to be a twist on that. So I'm super excited to find out what that is. Hopefully it's not just Cade's dead body talking.
Yeah, I know, right?
Tempering my expectations for Festival of the Lost.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Forsaken's been pretty good, though.
It's been pretty good.
It's been pretty good.
Festival of the Lost has been pretty bad, though.
It's been pretty bad.
Historically,
back.
Pretty bad. Did you guys get a chance to play Breakthrough yet? I didn't. I'm wondering if you guys did.
I did.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about the mode.
Can you explain the mode? I remember seeing a video.
So the
from
mode,
Game Informer.
there's a vault that's in the middle, and you have to fight over capturing this vault. It's basically just a capture point. And then if you capture it, then you have to go and try and capture the more difficult vault, which will be basically in the enemy spawn. Okay. Basically. So if you do get down by your enemy team capturing a vault, you have a chance to come back because you will respawn right next to your vault.
Yikes.
Does the spawn timer slow down, or how do they
I don't think so.
Really? Seems like such an advantage.
Yeah.
Yes. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter be like, "Oh, you mean the mode where you if you capture the first one, you're
screwed." Yeah, it seems like if you capture and then you have to run across if you die while they're just supering and laning, it seems like that's you're gonna be screwed.
Does your spawn move to the middle, or do you still spawn in your original? If you're the attackers?
I think you still spawn in your original place.
Jeez.
I think. I might be wrong. I played one game and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd prefer to go play quick play. I don't know. I don't know. You spawn apparently
you
spawn mid after first.
Spawn timer slows down.
So you're not super far away, but you're still at a disadvantage compared to the team defending.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, so I can't like specifically say how it felt. But it seems like an interesting concept for sure. And I like them trying to make new modes that could be for comp. But like, that seems like a snowball.
It's also really hard to get a good view of it just playing the Breakthrough playlist because people keep leaving. Really? It's hard to really have like a good solid match of Breakthrough at the moment.
I did like that you can earn your rewards by playing it.
Yeah, that's nice. Your weekly, power engrams.
Yeah.
Yeah. They added 3 maps too? Was that what it was?
They added new maps, yeah.
Now, are these maps?
You played? Oh my God! Have you played the new like 9-centric one?
No.
It's a big white map. It feels like a maze in there.
The one that looks like huge. A skateboard park.
Yeah, that's a good description of
Another big map.
Big. Like I played it for the first time. I've only played it one time, and my impression of it was I don't know where the fuck I'm going here. I'm like I'm running in a straight line. I don't see anything on my radar because the thing is so big that you just don't see anybody on your radar. And I turn around to my left, but I don't really realize there's a doorway to my right because everything looks the same because it's all white.
Denied.
It's gonna take some getting used to.
Is it Vostok big?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
It's a skate park.
It feels big.
It's a like big ass skate park.
But I also I played it one match, and it takes a little longer to get.
Yeah.
Like everything does look the same, and it feels like a maze.
You played it though, not in Breakthrough, right? You played it on like Control or Clash or something.
I think it was Clash. I think.
So these new maps aren't specific to Breakthrough, right?
No.
Good. Because I was worried that they were just making maps for Breakthrough, and if the mode flopped, then it'd be like, oh boy, that's good to know. I like new maps. I'm always excited to see new maps. I'm a little worried though of things like Vostok. Because at Vostok, I can't stand that map. And if another big ass map shows up,
it makes me sad because I hear the music and I'm like,
yeah, I'm like, here we go, playing Call of Duty and Destiny right now.
So I played the map that they did the combat reveal stream on. That seems fine for the most part.
Yeah.
I didn't get in there and get mad at it, so it's good. And then I played the map that's on the Dreaming City. I actually kind of like that map. That one seems.
I like that one too. That was cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
I'm excited to play those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that all that happened this week? Not all, but.
Yeah. I love the fact that there's things that are not getting checked off the list each week for me.
No.
Like I play a lot of Destiny.
Totally.
Straight up. I'm averaging like 8 hours a day almost. And there's some things where I'm like, that's going to roll off. I'm not getting that engram. And that's okay.
Yeah, it's like, maybe I'm just not going to get that powerful reward. It's fine.
Yeah. It's nice to be in that situation as opposed to like getting through everything on 3 characters in like 2 or 3 days and then being like, okay, I guess I'll go play strikes.
There's enough. Oh, yeah. I agree with that. There's enough variety that if you really don't like, if there's one activity that you just prefer not to do, like strikes I don't really like doing the daily missions 3 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm kind of okay with just letting that one slide. I'm okay with it. Like nothing against the missions. Just I don't want to do the same one 3 times in a row. And I could do 3 different ones, but I just tend to do the one that I think is going to be the fastest 3 times in a row. And by the 3rd one, I'm hardly even paying attention.
I'm falling asleep at that point. I'm just like,
yeah,
I want to be done with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice though to have like modifiers and things that change it up a bit. It's also really nice to have, 3 strikes to choose for the Nightfall? So you can kind of plan it.
Yeah,
that's
a really nice thing.
I love that feature.
Yeah, there's also new stuff to chase after. Like the Inside Terminus has a sniper rifle. I was trying to get one of those to drop. Oh my God, that like the Fanatic one, that Nightfall, Jesus.
Oh my God. That Nightfall, I've never
Stay
seen so
away.
many enemies in one place. Just running at me. Not shooting me. They're just running at me with fire and anger.
It's like
with fury.
Even though you're having the sweatiest PvE experience of your life. You're just laughing because there's just these guys just running at you. They're
firebombing you. It's really fun.
This DLC has gotten me to use an auto rifle more than I've used an auto rifle in forever.
What are you using right now?
And I think it's because there's so many things that just are running straight at you that are going to burn or blow you up. Like there's the screams, there's the there's the scorn guys that kind of have that lantern, and that lantern can be a tough shot with a hand cannon.
Yeah,
because it moves around a lot more than like a normal headshot. So I've gotten used to using an auto rifle.
I feel like you can't hit it when it's doing the wind up. Like it's
very hard.
Yeah, you're just like,
I feel like it's literally like impossible. Like I've never been able to hit that thing when it's in the wind up mode. It's satisfying.
I got that auto rifle from the raid that has Firefly on it, and it just like for running just like regular old like strikes and dailies and stuff like that. It just mows through things, and it's got the boss damage modifier on it too, so it just does extra damage to yellow health bars. It's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that like your preferred auto rifle right now? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, just because it's got Firefly, it's nice and stable. It's just easy. It's got a ton in the mag. It's just an easy auto rifle to use.
I can't let go of this Go Figure that I have right now. It's got a ranged masterwork.
It's the Go Figure's
Outlaw,
great.
Rampage, like it's perfect.
Yeah,
it's disgusting in Crucible as well. It's great in PvE, disgusting in Crucible. I switch between Ace of Spades and that gun right now, for depending on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm still using the pulse rifle that I got in the raid that has full auto and range and rampage on it. It's not as good as Go Figure, but it's got full auto. So again, for running like strikes and like that mindless stuff where you're half reading chat and half playing the game.
You're just you're not really looking. You're just there was a point where I was doing the that Nightfall. I don't know if I was doing it as a Nightfall or a strike with the Fanatic, and I was just spinning around in a circle shooting. I was just spin and shoot. Don't panic.
Pretty much how I play the blind well.
I finally got a Bad Omens with tracking and cluster bombs as well, which I was very excited about.
Yeah, I got one of those too. I like it.
Yeah.
I think, do you get that for your second reset as well, like guaranteed?
Oh, was it guaranteed? Is that why I got it?
I think you do.
I haven't reset my Infinity.
It can definitely drop, but I think you get the masterworked version with cluster and tracking.
Really? Nice. That's cool.
When you reset for the second time.
What if it has like the impact casing or whatever that gives more direct damage? Because that's what I'm now looking for.
I have not reset.
I was hoping to get that combo in the raid.
Mm-hmm. In the raid
rocket launcher, which I do like, but it's not bad on this one.
How do you feel about Transfiguration?
That sounds like a made up word.
The scout rifle.
Are you trying to fool me right now?
Scout rifle.
Oh, the raid scout rifle?
How do you feel about scout rifles, Briar? Huh?
I mean, scout rifles are awesome weapons if you're a coward and you like sitting at the back of the map shooting from distances that are.
If you like playing on Vostok.
Yeah, if you like Vostok, scout rifles are the gun for you. Aren't they bugged like 20 or 30% damage?
They don't do any damage.
They're actually
leave it the way it is.
Yeah. If you get a scout
it
rifle
feels real bad.
and you use it and it's not performing to your expectations, the reason is that it's actually bugged at the moment.
Actually
bugged.
It feels real bad. Takes me 20 shots to kill a thrall. It's ridiculous.
I would like to use some scout rifles. In an aggressive nature, not in a casual sit in the back of the map nature. I'd like to use them, but they're bugged right now. And I'd like to. In fact, I got the curated roll for Transfiguration. Ended up getting rid of it because it was a scout rifle, but I kind of wanted to keep it. I needed a light level though, man. Wasn't going to use that thing.
Yeah, that light level can force some hard decisions on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can.
So. Speaking of the TWAB, they talked about how they're aware of the economy of masterwork cores and infusion rifle.
Yeah, this was interesting.
Infusion stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to be adjusting. They're going to make some adjustments, right? Do you have the bullet list in front of you, Briar?
I do. So basically what they're going to do is they're monitoring core supplies, and the numbers aren't as high as they like. We're planning to create a more reliable and plentiful source for cores. We're going to rename masterwork cores so their purpose is more obvious as well. So this isn't something that's going to get fixed tomorrow. Like this is something that they're looking at. They're still playing with, and they're planning to create a more reliable and plentiful core source. They haven't done it yet.
There's a lot of options they could do. I mean, like, I think Triple mentioned gunsmith bounties.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Get some cores from doing bounties every day. Like, just guaranteed sources, right?
Yeah, I really want them to just utilize Xur. Like, just make Xur be useful for people, not just people who don't have the year 1 exotics, but for people who are actively playing. Like, they go to Xur, he has some quests maybe for you to do, or you can exchange something, just something. A way for me to get mod components, masterwork cores, like anything that's more difficult to come by.
Yeah.
I'd really like that a lot.
Yep.
It'd be cool if it was quest based, or not quest based, but bounty based.
Bounty based, yeah.
So you actually have to do something to get them. I know a lot of people are really pissed off about this, but I don't necessarily want to see them taken out of upgrading a weapon or infusing a weapon, just because, like, I like that there's decisions right now.
Yeah.
Like, I like that
too.
But I would like to ease up on that economy a little bit.
Yeah, the economy for sure needs to get adjusted, but like outright taking them out doesn't make sense, because like, if you're infusing every piece of gear that you get, then you're doing it wrong. Just straight up. You need to wait. Do not.
You might be ugly.
Yeah.
It might not be optimal.
Yeah, there's a reason why you get to 600 and then start doing your builds, because that's when you've exhausted your light level. And there's no reason to like infuse every piece of light level gain into the gear, because unless it's Whisper. Like, there's a few cases like Whisper, Ace of Spades, or your Go Figure, that's the perfect roll.
And you do that in the 10 minutes before you're about to go into the raid.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to be smart about your economy. I still have like 100 masterwork cores, and I've been hovering around 100 because I would get some, and then I'd spend some, get some, spend some. Like, if every weapon you get, you're infusing, you gotta ease up on it. That being said, if you're a brand new player and you don't have any of those masterwork cores, yeah, I understand. It's definitely a struggle right now, and that's why they're looking at it, and they definitely need to add some stuff in there so we can get it, or get more options for it. But outright taking it out, I think cheapens the grind. And I like that there's grind in the game again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I think people who came into the game during different phases have different opinions on these things, right? People who fell in love with vanilla Destiny, it's part of what we fell in love with was the grind, right? People who came in later where there wasn't a grind, they're going to see a grind all of a sudden plopped into their game that they love and be like, what is this? Like, I didn't sign up for this. So I think part of that is just what you like about Destiny.
Yeah. Yep.
I like grind.
I like the fact that I'm looking at, like, I got a Duke with Outlaw and Rampage. And it's fun. I was like,
really good.
I didn't think I was going to like this gun, but Outlaw and Rampage, suddenly I'm digging this. And I also got an Outlaw kill clip on a Better Devils. I started using that, and I was like,
I have not had a single Outlaw Rampage, Outlaw kill clip drop at all.
Really?
Feels bad.
Yes.
Oh man, that is a bummer.
You gotta rub up against Pope or something.
Well, but I tell you, when I start playing my PC character, I'm sure she's gonna get some stuff, because she's always super lucky.
Nice.
So we'll see.
I got a trackless waste with kill clip and quick draw on it today that I'm kind of looking forward to trying out.
Nice.
That's 110 round per minute.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of a different gun. I'm sorry. It's slow fire and hand cannon. The thin line. That's what I'm thinking of. 110.
Oh my! Have you read the lore tab on that gun?
No.
It is the saddest thing I think I've seen in all of Destiny.
Really?
It is very, very sad. It's basically it's what your ghost wishes they could say to you.
Ugh.
Oh, really?
And it's all the story of I'm scared that I'm losing you. I love you. I don't want to lose you to this. And I'm just like, oh no.
Oh my God.
My
Man,
ghost
I had an
thinks I'm a
ex-girlfriend who
monster.
gave me a letter just like that.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
So our ghost is kind of clingy. Is that what's going on here?
It's really, honestly, read through it. It's not super long. It's just what your ghost wishes that they could say to you. And it's the lore tab of Thin Line.
My ghost talks literally all the
Yeah,
time.
won't shut up, right?
I cannot
Doesn't
imagine
tell you.
that there's something
It's
that has
scared
gone
to tell
unsaid.
you those things. It's scared.
Speaking of ghost talking, or things like a ghost, there's been some wishes discovered in the raid. And they are pretty fantastic.
They are
They
really
are pretty
great.
good.
So I got to do the raid with the failsafe wish, where failsafe becomes you, essentially. The failsafe gets to ride along as the guardian and gets to add commentary to each part of the raid. And it is phenomenal.
It's
That's
good stuff.
amazing. I
haven't
can't
done
wait.
that
I'm
yet.
gonna do that tomorrow. I have to do that tomorrow. That's amazing.
It's so good. Like
I did the one with the headshot.
yes, we did that, right?
Yeah, that was fun. At certain parts, it was a little weird. It's like this weird noise. It's not the Halo noise with like the children screaming.
Right.
It's a different noise.
It's like the zing, 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 zing.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah. Yeah, and when things get intense, it's weird to hear that going off constantly.
Yeah.
But it's great. I love the fact that that's in there. This is one of these things where this is so good that if it's not in the future of things, I'm going to be disappointed. Like failsafe being able to take over the lines of the raid as you're going through
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely.
Like I want
Yeah.
that to happen now all the time.
What is she? I don't know. I don't even want to ask. I want to hear.
She's
for
like,
myself,
whoa,
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm in a body? This is cool. she even gets scared over Riven. It's so awesome. Oh my gosh.
We all did.
It's so good. Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Pope Bear.
Oh, hey, Pope.
Hello.
Hello.
What are you guys doing?
Just talking about Destiny.
Oh, little podcast.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Am I interrupting anything? I mean,
No, man.
We're thinking about doing an ad read, but I've been scolded. I'm not allowed to do it anymore.
Yeah.
ah,
What do you think, Pope? You want to do an ad read for us, Pope?
not yes, absolutely.
Just jump on in and
I'm so-
get right to it.
I'm so prepared. I'm so prepared for this for this ad read.
Yeah, I'm pretty prepared.
I walked.
JK.
I'm literally still wearing. Here, I'm gonna jump.
Are you wearing underwear?
I am wearing.
I would
underwear,
hope
think.
he just came from work.
There
so
we
I would
go.
hope he
Oh, look at Dapper
Wow.
Pope there.
Fresh AF.
This is he actually looks like the leader of the jazz band Pope and the Bunny
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't have time to set
Oh,
up anything.
Mute
here. Hold
Skype.
on, I gotta
Mute
move-
Skype. Mute Skype.
Okay, mute Skype.
Awesome. I was worried there for a second. Sometimes Skype gets left a bit.
That's true.
Yeah.
And we're just screaming. We're just
Yep. Yep.
I don't want to interrupt your conversation, but it sounds awful and I'm dying.
The doubling effect is killing my ears.
All right, this isn't gonna work. Behind the scenes, behind Pope Bear's.
That's fine.
Like scenes.
You know, it's just ghetto enough that it's charming.
There we
It's
go.
charmingly
That's
ghetto.
fine. Yeah.
It's just ghetto.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
It is what it
we've talked quite a bit about the things going on this week in Destiny, man. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good things.
How has your journey been so far with Forsaken? Where are you at? Because I know
Yeah, where are you?
I know your time is limited. So
Yeah, so I get about 10 hours a week, and so right now I'm at 5:45.
Nice.
I believe.
That's pretty good.
well, factor in
5:40.
Pope RNG.
There is that.
That's at least worth 15 light levels, right?
That's at least that. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing my first raid this Saturday. I'm really
I
excited.
look forward to hearing you
Yeah.
getting the
Nice.
1,000 voices.
Yes.
Yep.
So the thousand voices shall be mine. No, I am trying to switch out of work mode into gaming talk mode. So give me 1 second. I am really excited about what's going on this raid. I'm going to go with the WTF Game Nation guys.
Nice.
Their raid team this Saturday. I'm really pumped about it. I've been, planning this for, like I said, you guys, casual players, they don't mind the long wait. They just like to plan.
Yeah.
So I know that every day I can log in and I can do my dailies, which give me some power levels. I level up 1 level every day or 2, and that's my pattern. And so every day I jump on and I play for that time I have, and I level up a level or 2, and if I'm lucky, and then I'll get there eventually.
Does it feel rewarding to you?
Yeah, a lot of fun. The daily heroic activities, the daily heroic missions, those are like reimagining the game for me. It's so much fun to go back and do those at a higher light. They're interesting missions. They don't take a credible amount of time, and I get a powerful reward from them.
Mm-hmm.
I love having the different activity for the daily rotate between an island. The locations now mean something to me. Going to a location and doing something specifically to get those dailies means something. Going to the tower to get your bounties means something. I have to be really selective as to what I want to do that day. This morning I was able to do Gambit because of and
do not tell me you got the meatball first try.
No, I didn't.
Thank God.
So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying the pace that I'm taking the game. I did start feeling a little anxious about it originally, like at least within 2 weeks of it starting, because I was still in the same.
Yeah.
I was in the same mindset from D2 where I had everything, right? And I got everything and I finished everything. And so I had to just change my mindset of like, look, I'm only going to, for 10 hours, 10 hours a week is really going to be about one character, one grind, one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't do any more. I honestly can't. I can't even finish one character. So I got, and fortunately, this community picked me a hunter for me.
Awesome.
So
that is fortunate for you.
Hunter only.
Now I'm stuck on this hunter because that's the only thing I have time for. And I really want to play Titan and I really want to play Warlock. And so I'm stuck on this.
Once you level up though, Pope, I think you'll find that it relaxes a little bit. Like when you don't feel the need to do like the dailies and everything, like every time you log in, then you put those high level weapons onto your Titan or your hunter. Yeah. And they come up to power level like super fast, like super fast.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying that. I promised that I would follow this character through to the end game, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's what I'm doing, and I'm playing the hunter straight through. And I can tell you that I apologize for years of bashing hunters. They are fun as hell to play.
Yes, they are.
They are fun.
They are fun. They are fun. You got to change your play style up. You got to be sneaky. You got to be agile, and you got to be accepting of like the role of what you're going to play. Like, sorry, I don't. You guys mind the baby crying in the background? No,
it's fine.
No one minds the baby. It's fine.
So I guess the thing that I'm really excited about is how to play the character. The Solar Hunter is phenomenal.
So good.
It's so good.
Phenomenal. Oh my God. And I'm starting to enjoy the sneaky Void Warlock, the Void Hunter. You know, you crouch, you shoot, you go invis, you plan your next attack. You're invis for a long time, and you're like, okay, what am I gonna do? And then you're like, you throw all this stuff at all these guys, and then you shoot one, and you go invis again, and they're like, what the hell? So so I'm really enjoying that. The super, I'm enjoying. I encourage everybody to force themselves to play a character they don't normally play. Like I'm telling you. You will get a whole new enjoyment for the game. I didn't think I would love playing as a hunter, but I am very much enjoying it. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Titan Master Class, for life. Hey, but
Titans are for work. Forget the job done. Hunters are for fun. All right, that's the way it is, man.
But I'm telling you, it's like if you've been in that mindset and you haven't given another one, force yourself. Make your other character off limits and force yourself to do a level grind up, and you will appreciate it later. It's just a ton of fun.
Yeah, hunters feel fantastic.
But yeah, that's where I'm at. And I hear we get some raid guys on tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, let's get them into the call.
So we should do that
right?
ad read, right? We should talk about
Yes.
We should talk about. What should we talk about, Tefty?
Gamer Link.
So if I needed to find a group, because let's say I don't have a group of people to play Destiny with, and I need to get, and let's say I want to do the dungeon that just released.
Right. That's right.
Where could I go to find a couple other gamers?
One of
like-minded
gamers. Our sponsor for the podcast this month is GamerLink, and it's an app on Android and iOS, and it's more than just an LFG. So if you're looking for a group, that's great. You can jump on there and do that. But it's also a way of meeting like-minded gamers that you can form a clan with, and you can do has a clan chat feature in it that you can use to talk to each other and coordinate games. It's also across many different games, so it's not just
multi-game and multi-platform, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you can be using it for jumping into Fortnite. There's a ton of other games. You guys should really check it out. Take a look at the app, download it, play around with it. I've had a blast with it. I've been matching up some games with it when I've been wanting to do the Nightfall. Normally I just tweet out, hey, anybody want to join me for a Nightfall? But not everybody has that opportunity or that luxury.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've been trying out the app for that, and it has been successful every time. Jumping in with finding other people that want to play and finding them quickly. There's a lot of people on it.
You can use it for LFG, but then once you make friends that you want to keep, you can also use it for kind of clan management and clan communication.
That's right. Yeah, you can meet people and then on the LFG, and then join, and then have them join your clan and start a group. And that's really what Destiny is about. Like, if you find a person that you really enjoy playing with through the LFG, just add them.
You gotta put a ring on that.
Yes,
yeah. Be friends forever. Go through many games together.
Yes, many games. So I highly recommend it. Take a look at GamerLink. There's going to be a link in the description below. Click on it. It will take you to whatever site it's a smart link. So click on it, download the app, and try it out.
Boom.
Boom.
Good.
Boom.
And thank you very much, GamerLink, for supporting the podcast.
Yep.
We
thank you very much.
Your work that you're doing.
Yeah.
And the work you're
Make
doing.
sure you check them out,
Destiny.
guys.
Yeah.
Check them out.
My unicorn mug is ready.
Nice.
Isn't there somebody we should be talking? I swear to God, we're forgetting something tonight.
What are we forgetting?
Wasn't there somebody?
Let's get them in here.
Was T-Von supposed to come on?
T-Von?
No, not T-Von.
No, it was T-Von.
No?
Somebody. No. Wait.
No.
I know what it is.
Who?
This guy named Hippity Hop.
Hippity hoppity?
Hippity
hop.
Hop. The hippity hop. The hip hoppity don't stop. Hip hop. Hooray.
We have hip hop on? That's
And
crazy.
Like conceptually, like all of hip hop, or like
Yes.
this guy named Black Sideburns. I don't know.
Whoa.
Is that a pirate?
What? Blonde sideburns. Sorry.
Listen, I walk into an insult already?
That's just
Pope.
that's just the
Pope,
way
man.
we roll.
That's how we guns.
around here. So, gentlemen, are you both in this call? Is the power of the internet? Is it working? Are we live?
Yeah, it seems like it.
I think we're live. I don't think we have video, but we're audio right now.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
we're working on the video piece of it. Okay, let's get the video piece into it.
Yeah, once you guys do get into Skype, just make sure you hit the mute button on the Skype, and then we should be good. Pope should be sending you a little invite.
I got you right here, baby. I got your invite. We're professional.
Yes.
We're professionals.
Professional.
right. We didn't even mention Tinder during the ad read. Perfect.
We did not.
Wow. Hey.
There they
There
are.
we go.
Oh, hello.
Just make sure.
Look at all those green screens.
Okay, you muted. Nice. Cool. Hey, guys.
These.
Hey.
Look at these.
Watson, we can't see you,
Beautiful.
but we can see your hand moving.
I
You're
can
just a
see you.
camera.
Oh, what?
You're using the new Skype. That's why. Yeah, it does that.
So I just left work, and you guys are still there. It's 7:30 on the Pacific Coast. Thank you very much for staying way past your duty free your duty
And
time.
everybody says game devs don't work long hours, right?
Unbelievable, right?
Everybody says
I did
that.
play some Gambit in between this. I'm not sure that really
Did you get
counts
the
as
meatball?
working.
Did you get the meatball to spawn?
Not yet. I'm still searching.
Oh,
Still searching.
same.
It's so for everybody who's joining or for who's listening to the podcast right now, two gentlemen that are in front of us. Andrew Hops, say hello.
Hey guys.
He is a phenomenal artist, and why don't you? I mean, why don't you tell us what's your title? What do you do at Bungie?
I'm the art lead on the raid team. I'm helping our world team and all the art disciplines put together a great player journey in raids. So
cool.
Yes, indeed.
kind
And
of looking off towards Pope over here, but
and sitting to your left is Joe Blackburn. Hello, sir.
Hi.
And what do you do? Introduce yourself. What do you do at Bungie?
I'm the raid team lead at Bungie. So we sit very close to each other.
yeah, just like the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We went back to back in real life, but it was close.
I mean, you guys didn't seem to have, but you didn't look uncomfortable in the picture. If you know,
Yeah.
you're right next to each other.
Yeah.
Do you like?
Yeah,
do you like?
we can get closer right now. I mean, this is pretty,
That's about right.
I thought he was gonna lean in for the kiss there.
It's
Yeah,
a good
I mean,
relationship.
let's go.
Putting a ring on it, man.
So you guys, I'm always excited when we talk to a lot of no offense to the community managers, but we talk to them. We talk to them a lot, and every
They're
time
not
we
here,
get
so dish it out.
well, every time we get an actual Bungie developer, I'm just kidding. Every time we get one of you guys on the show,
I'm looking at these right now at the same time all this is happening.
so just blink twice if he's threatening you.
You'd have to be.
All right. So I honestly there's the kid inside of me that wants your job, that wants to know what you do, how you got to where you are now. And I know we're going to talk about the raid, and you guys, first off, you guys did a phenomenal job on this raid.
Amazing job.
Everybody
amazing.
loves it. But I want to find out a little bit about you guys, because there's a big part of me that is ever since back in the Halo days, I always wanted to hear about how your journey, your personal journey from where you started to developing and making games. And we're going to get into the raid, but I do want to hear Hops. Where did you can you tell me a little bit about your background, or how you came to start working in game development and at Bungie?
Sure. I want to say it was Toy Story was the first time I got really into 3D. That's the earliest thing I remember. You know what? We could go all the way back to Legos, but I think Toy Story was the first time I really wanted to make things on a computer, and I was super into Counter-Strike and Quake and Unreal Tournament and Tribes, and then I kind of lucked out because right here, I grew up in Redmond, which is very local to Bungie, and we also had DigiPen, which is a tech college that specializes in game development. So I got really lucky there because I didn't have to go far to find a place to start doing something that really interested me. Obviously played Halo a ton, and got a job first just across the freeway from Bungie at Hidden Path, and that was a lot of fun. We did Defense Grid, and ended up working with Valve on Counter-Strike and Left 4 Dead, which was amazing because everyone there was incredible. That really inspired me too. And while I was there, I was obsessed with Bungie. I went to school with a bunch of people who ended up working at Bungie, like Pat Jandro, Forrest Soderlund, and they got jobs here. and I saw how awesome it was, and it became my life goal to work at Bungie. So I started applying, and I was not ready when I first applied. I applied probably 4 times before they said, "Okay, come in for an interview."
Well, let me ask you more about that application process, because from what I've heard, and I've spoken to a bunch of people, that it's nothing to laugh at. It's a process, right? So can you walk us through your hiring process, your interview process?
Yeah, I mean they get somebody from every department, and you have a full day of interviews. There's a social lunch that's like a culture fit type thing. I think I was so excited that I wasn't that nervous, I don't think. Maybe some of my interviewers will tell you differently, but I thought it went well.
Okay.
I got the call back. Yeah.
And so in the interview process, you said there's people from every discipline. Are they asking you like esoteric questions? What are your thoughts on the string theory and things like that? Or are they talking about? Are they asking you practical questions like
practical? Yeah, it'll be how what I'm applying for relates to their discipline.
Okay.
So I had the designer who was talking to me about Counter-Strike map design, and I had a effects artist who talked to me about like her performance, managing that type of stuff. Yeah.
Is anybody that interviewed you for the position, did you end up working with them in a project later on at Bungie?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, probably every single one of them.
And who's your favorite?
Yeah.
What was the first?
Just kidding.
Who's your manager?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the first title you worked on?
D1.
D1, nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the team that you originally got hired to work with.
Into World Art, and I was Rob Adams was my manager. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had hung out with him a few times because I was friends with Pat Jandro. We had been up snowboarding with all of those guys a ton. So I kind of had an in. Even some of my interviewers were like, "Oh, hey, Pops, good to see you. How's it going?"
I remember doing, because I did the Cosmodrome ride along,
Yep.
and with Rob, and I remember you were like super inquisitive of what I thought of that space.
Yeah.
And
I got to work with him on Cosmodrome.
right, and I feel like you were just like, you were already on the next project, but you're so keen on player feedback and how it influenced your practice. Is that a practice that you've continued today? I feel like I see you very active on Twitter.
Right.
Are you also a Redditor?
Yeah. I think I've dialed that back just because I think there's a faster response time on Twitter, obviously. Also, I got scared away by the Bungie has replied, but not really. But I'll say something stupid, and then it'll end up at the very top of a post.
Sure.
But yeah, that's funny to hear, because I don't remember. I mean, I remember talking to you back then, but I've definitely become way more interested in talking to the community about like getting direct feedback and stuff like that. So. Yeah, cool.
Something that I was really impressed by, because we used to do when I was with Dads of Destiny, we would do the raiding. We'd do the raid leads with Bungie, Dads Give Back, and I remember we did a raid with you, and by that time I had played with about 100 different Bungie developers at that point, helping them through the Vault of Glass, and your questions were so poignant. Like it was almost like I was being interviewed, like I was interviewed, and it feels like you were already looking to work on the raid team back then. Was that a goal for you to work towards being on the raid team?
Not necessarily. I think I've always just been super interested in the player experience, and I ended up working on the Dreadnought, which was a lot of fun from that perspective. And then that just kind of linked into Kingsfall. and that was the first raid I worked on, and then I was absolutely hooked on that because
you're the design
all
lead.
about
You were the
player
world
experience.
lead for the Levi. No, the I'm sorry
For
for the Dreadnought, right?
just
Kingsfall?
the destination owner. Mark Pearson
Destination.
was the world lead, and then there was a
Right.
lot of world artists that worked on that. But yeah, I took care of it as we started to ship it, and then moved on to Kingsfall.
Did you craft the dick wall?
I don't know what you're talking
I did remember you talking about and being very passionate about hiding and having players find things in the Dreadnought, and
yeah, that was a lot of fun.
and
I mean,
that was something that you were really interested in. You didn't necessarily have a whole lot of time to add that stuff in. Did you take that with you to this raid and your passion? Obviously, there's a ton of stuff hidden in the Dreaming City. Is that something you brought with you from that experience?
I mean, I think everybody on the team wants to do that, and a lot of people worked on the transept. But that was like one of the first meta puzzles that we started to kind of add to a raid, and yeah, part of that was like, hey, we've got some extra time. What can we do that's really special here? And that's definitely carried on through raids. Is like we try to do stuff like that.
Let's put a hidden basketball court where people will just throw themselves at it for hours upon hours,
Many
and then
hours.
many
Yeah.
hours, and then so what's the story behind that? Was that something that had a specific purpose? You guys remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was a really good lesson for us to learn.
Right.
In our mind, like Ops made this with another guy on the team, Jake, and the basketball court. We're like, oh, we're gonna put an Easter egg in the game. It's gonna be a basketball court. How cool is that, right? People are gonna find it and say, cool, a basketball court is here. Not cool, this leads to something, right? Like, you're there, you're at the basketball court. Like, how cool is that?
Where's my reward?
So, good lesson learned about Easter eggs.
Right.
At what point did you guys realize that you had to like essentially pull the plug of like what's going to be there in the basketball court? Like, because obviously we would have gone on for weeks in the basketball court if you guys hadn't said something.
Right. Well, I mean, we knew where it ended, and once people brute forced in there, and then we were like, cool, they're in, let's see what they do, and then they started trying to figure out what to do next, and we were like, we should probably, because there was no moment that's like, congratulations,
And
here's
there
a thing that
seems
tells you, oh, I did it.
Was that
So-
something where you guys woke up the next morning? Because I remember that happening overnight.
It happened
Right?
really
Yeah, it
late.
happened overnight.
I remember
Yeah.
watching Dado stream and I was like, what are they doing? It's really late.
Yeah, I think so. I remember the next morning, we had been reading about a bunch of that stuff, and then we were like, yeah, we should probably tweet something, and I think that's when we said, hey,
Let's give it another hour.
I like
though,
how,
first. Let's go get some lunch.
I like how the option, there was the option of, we could just let it slide in the,
just let them suffer.
And Joe, your role as kind of overseeing raid design, those are kind of some of those challenges that you have to deal with, right? You're responsible for how much time the teams have to go into different activities or different encounters, and what you can and can't put into the raid, right? Explain to us. Well, first of all, let me actually start over. I'm sorry, because I really want to hear how you got to where you are in your position with the raid team. Where did you also go to DigiPen? Where did you start your education in?
I did not. So I went to school actually with the missing member of the DCP podcast. I found out during his tenure at Bungie, me and Holtzman went to the same school in Middle Tennessee State University.
Oh.
Unfortunately, he was finding bacon
Doesn't ring a
babies
bell.
and like painting naked people.
Yeah, you wouldn't have run into him.
Yeah.
He was the
Were
guy
you
that was
accosted?
in his
He
dorm
was the
room.
guy everyone avoided.
He hadn't seen the light in 3 months. There was magic, there was WoW, there was not a whole lot of anything else.
Yeah, and bacon babies.
Yeah,
So-
that was very similar to my college career. So that's why we never met each other in college. We were both doing that on opposite sides of the city. And yeah, I thought I was going to be a detective and be in the FBI.
Oh yeah.
And he's
Nice.
just cracking up off screen. So I was like, I'm going to get an English degree and I'm going to go to law school. And the whole time, I'm like playing so much World of Warcraft, like just
you too.
ungodly amounts of World of Warcraft.
Okay.
And as I was graduating from school, I thought, well, I have an English degree. Like I can't get into games, but I was fortunate enough to have my dad works for an airline, so I figured I could fly out anywhere. So I just put in a bunch of applications for a bunch of studios and said, I'll test your game if you'll have me, right? And I put it in a bunch of MMOs, and I was like, I've played these games so much, like I could test your game. I got a callback from ZeniMax Online. They make Elder Scrolls Online, if you guys played that. And so I started there in test, and I got to see sort of the early development of that game, and was lucky enough to make the jump from test design through sort of the grace of a bunch of other designers that were like, yeah, we'll try him out, this scrappy young kid, and made a bunch of dungeons in Elder Scrolls Online, and I worked on their version of raiding, which we called Trials, and eventually did some class design. And when Destiny came out, I played a ton of Destiny, and I played the Vault of Glass, and I was like, Destiny's doing something new. I loved MMOs, but I sort of felt in this, like, you're in the shadow of this colossal beast when you're making MMOs and you're not working in World of Warcraft. And even if you are working in World of Warcraft, I think they're in their own shadow a lot, trying to, top the last thing they did. And Destiny was this whole new space, and that seemingly had infinite possibilities. And an opening for a raid designer opened up, and I applied and went through a bunch of tests and phone screens, and eventually flew down to Bungie.
Nice.
And what was the first project you worked on at Bungie?
So I started right after Crota Hard Mode came out, I think is my timeline. So the first raid I worked on was King's Fall with this guy right here.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And so,
which is why my Twitter handle is Golgoroth, because Golgoroth was my first raid boss.
Oh, that's amazing. I love Golgoroth too. Like, that is a really fun fight.
and I mean, that seems like, congratulations. I mean, that seems like a quick. You're now the raid lead, and that's awesome. Were you nervous at all when you started this project? How long ago did you get tapped to say, okay, take Hops and make and a bunch of other amazingly talented people, right? And make the next raid?
I mean, I think we started on Last Wish, over a year ago. Something. I mean, these things sit in the oven a long time, right? We have multiple things. We were making raid layers at the same time. We were finishing Leviathan at the same time. This one's been in the oven for a while, and we're glad that it's out.
Spire Stars was on the way out. Yeah.
And I guess I want to. Tefty, you had a question?
Yeah, I want to know, like, do you guys have multiple teams working on raids, or is it just one focused team that like knocks out each part and then moves on to like the next big vision that's happening in the universe for the Destiny?
I mean, we're a big team, and we focus probably on one thing, but we sort of stair step it a little bit. As one team closes, we start doing something else. I think
That's interesting.
one thing that we've learned is it's really hard to stop working on something. And so we have to like pull people off of it and say like, this will never get done if you keep working on it, right? Because all we want to do is make things better and better and better and better and better and change things. And at some point we have to say, you can't change things anymore. Like, this is what it is, move forward. And that's when people get to go on to the new fun.
Yeah, the scope of Last Wish, like, it just seems massive. And like, if you guys did that in a year, like by the sounds of it, like, I'm blown away.
Yeah,
like that's.
It's how does that even start? Like, how does the process start of creating a raid? Like, where do you begin? Because this, like you were saying, Tefty, the scope is so massive in something like that. Like, how does it even start?
This one was cool because we were working in concert with the Dreaming Cities development.
Okay.
So while they're developing the palette and all the look for that stuff, we're massing out encounters and the flow of bubble to bubble, player journey. So we kind of had some help on this one as far as like putting things together, just because the Dreaming City was also building their very similar palette. So
I wanted to ask you, because it seems like that synergy between the open space, the connection of a location, a public space, and a raid. This is the first time Bungie has married the two, and it seems like something that's pretty revolutionary for at least the Destiny universe, and something that has really been impactful for the community. At what point in the development did you see that as the direction you were going to take with the raid, where it was going to impact the public space, and they were going to work, they were going to evolve together?
I think really early on, we knew the raid was going to be the centerpiece of a destination, and we wanted the destination and the raid to feel incredibly connected, specifically through narrative. I think we've, always struggled to like, how can we tell a good story in a raid that if you complete the campaign, you feel like I've satisfied something. And also when you go into the raid, you're like, I know who this is. I know why this is important. So one of our really early drivers was like, okay, let's get a whole destination in there. We can start allowing players to understand why this is important. And man, pretty early on in Forsaken, Steve Cotton was coming over and he was like, what can we do to make raids world first? Like it's this unique thing to Destiny. Like, what can we do to make that have more impact? And this idea of like, okay, what if the destination changes, right? Like, what if there's a huge impact on, and everyone's excited that like, oh, Guardians have done it, right? We're there.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of work going into that and figuring out how do you have something that comes out after the raid, right? That's the real, like, there's end game and it's after the raid. Like, what does that mean? Like,
I remember when we talked about that, and it was like barely pre-production in the raid, and we had that conversation about like what could happen when you're the world's first. And cool.
So you've got this.
It's a huge difference to the game though. Is like most of the time we've played up to the raid, and then you do the raid and you kind of relax and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go play Crucible for the next 3 weeks, or I'm gonna do this or do that. Whereas now it feels like the game is continuing. There is an actual end game past the raid. It really does feel
like
different.
The raid was the start of it.
Noticeable.
It feels amazing. I think we were just talking about that earlier, where World's First is always this kind of cool thing for people who could do it. But now if you're one of those players who can't participate, you still have a reason to watch and get behind it. You're like, what are they going to unlock? And it just makes people really excited to tune into World's First. So I think these things being married together was just such an amazing, amazing thing.
I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about the development of the story and the story we're on, the journey we're on, because as much as I'd like to ask you about what comes next, I'm not going to. I just absolutely won't, because I don't want it ruined. And I don't think you would tell me, because I know enough Bungie people that you wouldn't want it ruined either. But I do want to ask about you're in designing this raid, right? And it's got a story that links into earlier on in the concept of you're doing this this campaign, and then you go into you jump right into a story that's linked to the campaign and the raid, but it seems like it all has to get done at once. How closely were you working with like the writers of the Dreaming City? And I mean, did you have to redesign the way that your teams collaborated for this? It seems like there's a lot of departments that we're talking, or is that normal at Bungie?
I mean, I think it's like coordinating a cohesive story at this scale is one of the hardest challenges because everyone's doing different things and everyone has parts of their activity that aren't working and parts like, oh, we need to scrap this, we need to change this. And I think the writers are always downstream, like trying to catch things and wrangle things back together. What we try to do is we have an amazing team of writers here. We worked really close with Mallory and John Toe, and we tried to put some stakes in the ground really early and say, no matter what we change in this experience, you're gonna kill a 40-story tall monster at the end of it, right? Like
spoiler. Just kidding.
And we knew what we had with the experience of running out with the heart, and we pretty early on were able to say like, whatever changes, we promise that won't, right? And you guys come to us and tell us how the narrative is shaping up, what we can do to help, and we'll tell you about the small changes that we're making if those impact your story.
Interesting. So you guys you were going to
really
kill
cool.
Riven, the beast, the giant dragon, and then also bring the heart through the raid. Those were like cornerstones of like the development.
Very early on, those two experiences, we knew we wanted to do sort of what we refer to as a mega boss. I think selfishly, like it'd been a long time since Oryx. We're like, oh, we can do it better than Oryx, right? Like,
Yeah.
And then after that, we knew we wanted an escape sequence. We wanted something that felt totally different, harken back to those Halo 3 vibes of like, it's a victory lap.
Yep.
I was just gonna say that.
Right.
It felt like that.
It's beautiful.
When you guys like are designing the raid, do you guys start with the encounter? Like, do you guys have an idea? Okay, this would make a really good encounter. We'll have like this ball, and you've got to figure out like where to put the ball, like, and you got to read these these cryptic signs, or like and then design the arena around that, or do you have like an idea of what we want something to look like, and then make a puzzle fit it?
We'll go into a meeting and we'll come up with like a theme. Usually it's like an emotion, but it's something that kind of drives the rest of the encounters. It's something to tie everything together.
Yeah, just to perhaps saying is totally right. We design all of our raid encounters based off of experiences. So each encounter has an experience statement. So like for the escape, the experience statement is carry your friends across the finish line. Like whatever we did in that encounter, we knew we wanted it to the end to feel like you were carrying your friends across the finish line.
So it wasn't punch your friend in the face because they keep making you wipe.
No, that's the vault. That's the vault.
That's what
now we need to know. We need to know the experience behind every encounter.
Yes.
I want to
Yeah.
know what that was.
Yeah.
I think you get some of them. You'll get little chunks, and can't give away all the sauce.
Okay.
I want to know about the vault though. The vault
just tell us
was
the one
my
from the vault.
favorite. The vault was
So vault is weird. I think there are two ones we talk about there. Number one was break inside the cage and poke the bear. Like we knew we wanted to build a boss, and we wanted to have it. We knew it was going to be huge, and there was going to be ways to view it all the time, and we wanted to feel like you were an aggressor, and you were like getting actually inside this thing's home and like experiencing it really close. And eventually, the drop sequence for us became you're an X-wing and you're going up against a Star Destroyer, like that sort of bombing run style of like, oh, we're gonna fall down right across this thing, and we're gonna get all the cannons off of the Star Destroyer.
Wow.
That's really cool.
That is so
That's
cool.
crazy. And so somehow that comes into the encounter that we've played or we've watched play. Did you? Let me ask you about leveling or difficulty. Did you intend to go straight to hard mode? Like, I mean, did you just say?
What did we do to you?
Yeah,
That's-
like, did we insult you in some way on Reddit? I mean, no, I'm just
Yes,
kidding.
but-
People will say it was too easy to level and they were over leveled.
So I'm curious about like the thought process for, obviously you knew that that very few people were going to be 600 light, right? And if any, that nobody would be. How do you design a raid like that? And did you realize that so few people were going to finish the raid in the first weekend? Were you afraid that like 50% of the population would finish it? Like, what were your thought process behind that? Your worries, your concerns?
So I think really early on as a sort of a project goal, one of the things we knew we wanted in Forsaken was if we were going to have a power level climb, right? If Destiny is going to be a game where you gain power levels, that we wanted your power level to matter, right? Like we wanted this number that it goes up. You're like, oh, I'm so glad this number is going up. And in sort of our last few releases, we've been in a scenario where like, okay, we're going to the raid, it's pinnacle content. And you're like, and I'm 30 line over, right? And so you never get that feeling of like, I'm so glad this number is so high, right?
Right.
And so
Absolutely.
we were really lucky to get a bunch of buy-in from the rest of the team and said, okay, what if they win the light or they went to the raid and they were 20 light under, right? Like, and they had to do the whole raid and they had to feel sort of like the weight of what we call the sandbox portion of the encounters, which is just like shooting dudes, right? Because it's Destiny, right? Like it's a game about guns and aliens, and it's not just about solving puzzles. And so we want you the first time to go in there to be like, these scions, right? Like they keep replicating.
Can confirm that happened.
Yes. And I think Tefty actually made a mention of that specific thing last podcast. You're like, just before you're about to kill one, it spawns and it's full health.
You got
Like,
another
they
one and
replicate
another one.
their-
And when you're under light, it's just they two tap you. It's so annoying.
And that experience was completely nailed because the first time we go in, we're like, oh, it's so hard. It hurts so bad. And then you go in again and you start feeling more powerful in those encounters and you actually experience the feeling of getting powerful, not just, oh, my number is now higher. You have that experience of power.
Yeah.
So
I cannot enough thank the huge amount of people that aren't here, like getting the tuning on the power climb to make that happen. Huge amount of work. We're lucky to have people like Holtzman and Mercules and Spot in our back pocket that are crazy game players, and we could like just play the game, just play it so much until your eyes bleed out and tell us how fast you're doing it, right? And so we really were able to dial those numbers in an appropriate place.
It still feels good.
Yeah, it feels fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the feeling of playing against Callie and knowing that because I already knew, but I knew I could handle that. But getting to Shirochi, I was probably going to have to wait a little while. That felt good to me again.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, it's like you're slowly unlocking the raid for a lot of people, right? Instead of being this feeling of I want to conquer it in one shot, it's like, okay, we can do Cali and then we can go level up a bit and then we can come back. I think that feeling was also really cool, that it's just this long experience that you can conquer.
Aspirational.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was also really
did you
great.
guys take some of that MMO heritage and want to like put it into that? So like the feeling of people who are kind of climbing towards that first clear for the raid?
I think for us it's a balance, right? Like we love the feeling that you're progressing, but at the same time, like the day one Destiny raid event is such a cool thing that only exists for us right now. And I think we always want you to think that like the players, like the best of the best, they're going to go in there and you're going to be able to, if you want, watch them for a few hours and they'll be able to clear the raid. and not that you're getting to the last boss and it's like question mark, and we're just telling you like, see you next week.
Right.
While
Right.
you guys were watching the raid this time, did it start to become questionable in your mind if anybody would finish it in day one?
No, I mean, there's
No?
a couple
Really?
teams that had it down and just had to execute.
Yeah.
Although we were giddy with anticipation when they found out they had another encounter.
I bet.
Because that's
Oh
never
my God.
happened.
Because you guys
It's
knew,
never
that's
been
right.
kill the giant boss. Oh, and then there's more.
I think that's an important point that you just mentioned there. That it seems when I was watching it through the first raid race, is that the mechanic, like the teamwork component of it. It seems like that is the point that you guys were trying to make. That these encounters required you to work as a team, and that is what you had to master. You know, yes, shooting things was important and killing the ads and knowing what to do, but it wasn't so much about that as each member had to know their job and be able to communicate effectively. It seems like you put on a pedestal teamwork. And is that accurate description of what you were shooting for?
One of the things we really strive for is communication. We have a sort of pillar that echoes all of our content, and that it's we want you to be happy for each additional fire team member that you bring. So like it's amazing that you can clear the raid with 2 players and you can post that video on YouTube, and we like love it, right? When we see those, we're like, oh, this is so Destiny, right? Look at this awesome thing. But the important thing for us is that if you only have 2 people and you have a third friend and they're like, I would like to come do the raid, you're like, yes, please. Here's a multitude of things that you could do to help us do this, right? And so I think that cascades out into a bunch of different jobs. And when we play test it, if someone's sitting in the back and they're like, I could put my controller down, right? Like, you guys are doing this, you're cruising in this encounter, I'm not doing anything, like, killing these ads doesn't help. And they're like, all right, we need something, right? Like, why does Hops feel like he can just be tweeting right now?
I've been shooting ads this entire time. Please give me a job.
I feel like you dialed that up to 1,000 with this.
Yeah. The Riven fight.
Lots of symbols.
The symbols and the Riven
Many
fight and the
symbols.
shooting the
Symbols are
eyes.
so
Like,
fun.
And the eyeballs.
at any point during the development, did you guys go, this might be too much?
Yeah.
I think there were a few times where we said it wasn't enough, was our real, like, throughout development.
Was there a version?
We're not Clan Redeem.
Was there a version of Riven that's even that was more difficult out there that you guys pruned back?
I think there was some, there's always a point in tuning where we're like, oh, what have we done, right? Like, Riven shows up and she only shows up for like 1 tentacle slam, and if you don't get it, she's out. And you're like, oh, okay, like, we should probably give them more time before she pieces out. There were definite times. Last Wish got played a lot internally, probably more than any of our other raids. And there were definite times when we had other people and said, this isn't quite hard enough. Riven's eyes used to be 2 vertical lines, like in our blockout. And so it was like, it wasn't that interesting of just saying like 1, 8, right? And you didn't have to think about what those were because everyone could just say what that was. Additionally, I think the symbol spots, you used to be able to.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those eyes.
Like the left side's all kinds
It's
of
been
mess.
so fun watching all the different
What's
organizations.
your favorite
Art team
community
uses-
description of those? Because we've heard a lot of different things of people describing or ways of naming them. What was your favorite?
I really liked someone who did it like a die, right? For whatever reason, on the left side, they numbered it in this very strange, like it was a 5-sided die over there. And I'm just thinking, who's sending this over Discord to someone else? And the other people are like, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. And then seeing the world's first teams decide on like their call outs for, I mean, do you feel bad for Boring Ass Bird?
Look into the
No, I
left.
think that was two things about the symbols. We were watching. This is like deep raid history.
Mhm.
We were watching My Dad is Bungie a long time ago, and they were doing War Priest, right? The first, their world's first run at War Priest. And they were too deep in the strategy, and at some point, I think Broman goes like, "We have to learn the Hive language."
Right. The glow on the back of the
and then yeah. And we sort of just wrote that down, like, maybe one time we'll make you learn a language,
man.
right? Like, maybe that's what
Please
we'll
do.
right? Like,
Now, can you imagine like
Form
the
your own
campaign?
language to describe
That
to
would
your
be
teammates
amazing.
how to do this. Yeah.
and
Oh,
so
that would be super cool.
really early on, one of our goals with the symbols was that every team had a different way of talking about them. That they weren't so obvious that you're like, that one's dog. We have a bunch of really amazing concept artists, and one of the first passes of real symbols that you see, like there was a dragon with a spear, and there's a dragon with like holding a cube, and then we're like, no, you can't have cube dragon and spear dragon. There are two dragons with spears, right? Like, and you have to talk about is one dead dragon or is one like full dragon? Like, what do you want to call them?
So you got to a point where you were just like, let's see what mental paces we can put a raid team through, right? Because this is you're playing, you're communicating, you have to look, process, think, and communicate it effectively in a short period of time. I mean, there was a point where you guys were just like, feeling like you're just,
Oh yeah. I think early on, one of the first sets of symbols we had was a bunch of different flowers, and like people were like daffodil, hibiscus, and other people were like, I have no idea what that flower is.
Botanist raid. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
The symbols threw me off heavily initially, and then we started getting a rhythm, and there was like the thing going around of what to call them specifically, and once you learned that, it worked, but it was definitely a leap. What were you gonna say? Sure.
Can we?
I think that's like one of the things that we're really hoping comes about in Rage, and that's that there's a bunch of expertise that you gain, and then you have that, and it's like a power in your back pocket. Like, sure, you may have gotten a raid gun that may have bumped up your power up by 5, but you may also just like have experience that like I can talk about the symbols, I know what the eyes are, and that experience becomes so valuable in sharing with other people, and that becomes your value to the raid.
Yeah.
So instead of must have Gallarhorn, it's must have decoder ring.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Must have figured out Hive language during the Nightfall strike.
Yeah.
It is interesting.
Must be able to know at least 3 languages and decode. It's really interesting. I feel like we are seeing a new evolution of Destiny raids to add, like you guys are raising the bar on this raid and requiring teams to be more, to work more synergistically. Was there ever a point or concern where you felt like, there's a lot of people that LFG raid, right, that put together, and is there a point where you were concerned that this raid would not be able to be accomplished by a random grouping of people?
I think we're lucky to have a bunch of, we pretty regularly have to run people through the raid internally that maybe aren't hyper-regular raiders. And the thing they're always whispering in our ear is like, how am I going to do this on live, right? Like, please help me. And so I think one of our goals is we always want to have 1 or 2 roles where you can be given a very basic instruction. Like, I sort of go to Oryx, like, your job is to shoot the ogres. They're going to spawn, you're going to turn, and you're going to shoot them, right? And that is your job. And these, the Sherpa roles. And so we wanted to make sure that every fight you could have and be like, okay, yeah, you could, with pretty minimal instruction, you don't have to know what's going on with the symbols. You can just be a person who's clearing out scions. Like, that's my job. My job is to keep the scions dead. This guy's going to shoot 2 eyeballs. This guy's going to do some decoding that I have no idea what's going on. And I'm just like on for the shooting scions, right? And your teammates should still be super happy that the scions are dead. but you don't have to learn the awoken language to get through it.
So I want to jump into some of the experiences, because I got a chance to watch these guys trying this, because I was at work, but I was at work, so I got to see it later. I wasn't watching. So the vault, right?
Yeah.
Why you? So it seemed difficult. Now, did you want it to be that? Like, what was the
We're
design?
talking about the security mechanism.
Security
Yeah,
mechanism,
yeah.
yeah.
Like to
Oh,
open
The
the
door
lock.
to the
Yes.
vault. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Where did that begin? Like, where did you guys come up with the idea of like you have these 16 crazy symbols and that people are gonna have to Antumbra penumbra this together and like slam on a
How do
plate?
you even figure out that Antumbra is one side and Penumbra's the other side?
Yeah.
How do
Well,
people even
early
figure
on-
that out?
Early on, I think the experience statement. I mean, we thought of it like a breaking into a safe, right? So we thought of it as this big dial lock that you were gonna break open. And once the symbols came into it, it got a lot more complicated. But
Yeah.
I think that's another like area where we learned something. Our general rule of thumb is that like there's nothing we can present the bleeding edge raiders with and their hive mind of Twitch followers that is going to last for too long, right? Like the internet is very smart. They can rapidly recommend different things. But for most of internal, we're using debug strings. We know what all the things mean. And we're like, okay, yeah, we get what's going on here. And at that moment when turning the lock left or turning it right turns from Antumbra to Penumbra, we were like, ooh, okay. We think they'll get it. I will say one of the most satisfying moments of that whole day for one of our designers was when Datto holds up the pieces of paper to his camera and goes, "Data and conclusions."
So you guys are designing the lock to get in, and you're also cognizant of the fact that you want Raiders to the world's first team to have to work through a problem, right? You're thinking of not just as the raid team, but the internet as a whole, the collective hive mind in trying to solve this, and it seems like that concept or that theme of not just the individual player but the community as a whole played into the design elements of it and how it affect like the Dreaming City. Because like for me, I got to see these guys finish world first and it affected my life, right? It affected my playing of the Dreaming City. How does that player connection look for you guys between the raid team and the end game team, or the team that's working on the live game?
personally, I went to sleep.
I think that Destiny has developed such its own style of community and its own style of progression. I coming from like an MMO World of Warcraft background, when I was doing bleeding edge stuff, the thought of like giving someone else your strategy or like streaming your content or saying that you found a secret was like totally foreign to that community, right? It's all about hoarding what you know and like using that power for yourself. Destiny's a totally different beast, right? Like it becomes this thing like, I found this, look at this thing I found, look at this thing for all of us to enjoy. And I think part of that is raid encounters. I think a big part of it is secrets. When we hide secrets, we hide them with the intent that like millions of people are going to look for these, right? Like,
yeah.
Every time someone shows me something secret in Destiny, I'm like, how would I ever, like, what are you talking about? Like, the wish plate on Nessus, I can remember someone showing me that and thinking, why would anyone be here? right? Like, why would they're under a staircase, like in a part of the game that no one goes to anymore? But we were like, yeah, it'll probably take them a day or so.
So that is one of the things. Like, at what point in the process of designing the raid did you guys want to put the wishes in there? Like, obviously the thematic,
The wishing wall.
yeah, the theme of the wishes makes sense, but I'm assuming from a development process, it was like, okay, we're gonna have like these codes in there.
Oh, that was we got excited about that when the security mechanism was being built, because
Of course,
seeing all these dials move, we were like, somehow they're going to enter combinations and things are going to happen. And what does that look like? And then eventually, obviously, we moved that to the front of the raid because we didn't want to make people play 5/6 of the raid before they could enter a cheat code.
Yeah.
And so, so there's a lot of possibilities there. There is a lot of...
Can't brute force this one.
Yeah.
Well, don't say that.
So there is a
I'm
lot of
confident in that
options.
statement.
My favorite,
Go ahead, Tefty.
by far. I mean, obviously getting extra loot's great too, but like my favorite is failsafe being joining the raid. And it's bittersweet because if failsafe doesn't join future raids, I'm going to be really disappointed, honestly.
She now needs to be in every single raid.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm really I think we got Jill to come over and write failsafe, and she knocked it out of the park. And it's really interesting to have that different character perspective on a raid. And like, what would it be like to take someone else?
Yeah.
Like to show a member of the like Destiny cast what's going on in these raids, because usually it's comms off, right?
Yeah. It's great.
I think, it's like Wing Zero said in chat that Shax needs to join. Can you imagine Shax just yell? You get a triple kill on some Scions? That would be.
Oh yeah,
that would be pretty
the
high.
PVE callouts where Shax just starts going insane because you've killed like 7 thrall. Or,
So what I love about the wishes also is that like each raid has had like a certain set of secrets, and probably Rise Iron was the most technical up to that point. Leviathan, like, it definitely had its shares secrets in the underbelly, but like Rise Iron was a deep secret that the community had to crack.
Yep.
I feel like this is definitely the next evolution. Like, you have this key input to cause these certain effects that are like cheat codes. Just like I said, it's like the game genie of the raid being able to put in there to have these things happen, have like, silly things that from headshots and all that. And I love it. And I love the fact also that there could be a bunch of crazy stuff still in there that we don't know anything about. Obviously, you guys can't say anything as to what's there because you're Bungie. You don't want to like reveal it. You want the community to find it. But like that kind of secret stuff in the raid is the things I love. I love finding chests.
Yeah.
But then when things like that get in there, it's just a whole nother level.
I'm so happy to hear that. Like, there was a really early on where it was like, okay, we just did a raid that had a bunch of secret passageways between it. Like, that was different than the raid where you had to find a bunch of monitors. We go to the team and say, like, what are we going to do? Right? Like, we got to do something, right? And luckily, we work with amazingly smart individuals that make me and him look real dumb all the time. And so,
that's fair.
Yeah. That's fair. And they come up with cool things, and then we talk about if it's possible, and then we say, oh, we're going to do it anyway. Like, it might be possible, we're going to do it anyway. And then it gets in the game.
It's cool.
So we've got a few minutes left for this conversation before you guys got to go home to your families.
Go home to Saturday.
Do you guys, can you tell us about like any memorable moments about this raid, or either the development process or the world's first thing, or anything that you've had where you feel like you knew you had something special? Because right now we're looking at a community that's reacting extremely positively. That's got to feel good, right? You've got I just read an amazing article from Polygon. There's there's all these reviews of people that are putting out, this is the best raid that's happened. That's got to feel good. Did you know you had lightning in a bottle when you were shipping this, or is this or do you feel like that now? I mean, where do you stand with as raid developers with this?
gotta go first.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Joe had just tweeted that Polygon article, and I commented that, like, when we were initially making this raid and talking about what we wanted it to do that was special, the big thing was like, this is the greatest hits of raids. And reading that article where the writer literally put, like, it's the marrying of all the best parts of all the raids. It was like, sweet.
Yeah.
I think I still get real nervous as things go out there. You know, even we talk about this being like one of the most play tested raids internally, and that's definitely true. But it's a totally different ball game. You know, when the numbers go up from maybe we've cleared it about 100 times within Bungie's wall, to week 1 they're being they've done it 500 times. Week 2 they've done it 10,000 times, right? Like those numbers and those attempts on all that content become so much higher, and it just takes a couple weird things to fall out for the whole experience to fall down. So I still get super nervous, or I get like maybe they're not going to like this way like we like this.
Yeah.
Super nervous. I think about Churro Chi when she moves up the tower and you can only kill her at the last spot, and we were pretty adamant that like this fight isn't cool unless you kill her at the top of the tower. Like that's what the fight is about. It's about climbing to the top of the tower, and at the same time, all throughout development, we're hearing things about like Davix and the strike. Like there's so many immune phases.
Right.
Or like
It's a long fight.
Okay, well we're putting a lot of she goes immune a lot of times in this encounter. How can we make that not be awful, right? And like we tried really hard, and we're like, we think we've done it. That even after you push her, like you feel like, okay, well we can get to the next DPS as fast as we can move, but we don't really know what other people are going to think about that, right? And are they still going to be like, I should be able to kill her at the first plate? Like, oh, maybe you should have been able to kill at the first plate.
You know what though? Like that fight is fun because you are doing the puzzles after each part. Like having to do Dance Dance Revolution in that room is like, it's cool. Like it feels like the puzzle that you're solving, and it's not just DPSing a boss.
I like that movement aspect of it too. It's like it almost feels like a race, like to get to the next DPS and get through it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a unique challenge too. An encounter that covered a lot of ground. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So cool.
Well, I wanted to personally thank you two for coming on. I know that you guys are extremely proud of what you've put out, and you're already working on the new stuff. And so you're going to leak all the secrets right now, right? You're going to tell us all the stuff that you're working on. Right? This is the next
right when this is over.
Right? Spoilers from here on out. I'm just kidding.
Give me the codes.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited with the Where Forsaken is, and I know we have more secrets to unravel. I just wanted to, speaking from the podcast team and our community, wanted to personally thank you for the work you guys have put in. You're doing it at a time when there was a lot of chatter in the community of there was a lot of outside people saying that Destiny was bad, right? And you guys played a huge role in bringing back the game that we love, and I just wanted to thank you for that. And
you're talking to the whole team right now.
I'm talking to the whole team, not just you two. I know that there is hundreds of employees at Destiny, and I hope at Bungie, and I want every one of them to know that I personally, and I know this team does, personally appreciates the crazy hours and the creativeness that you guys put into making the game that we love. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I agree.
All right, guys.
Cool. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you
for coming on.
Thanks for
we're gonna hang out with
stories.
you and bash the game for another hour.
Good.
Right.
Love it.
Yeah, we're about to get super toxic up in here.
Yeah, we're gonna tear this shit down. But thank you very much. All right, Scott, cut us off.
All right, later, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hot mics.
Hot mic.
Oh,
Hot mic.
okay, they're muted.
That's always great having like the guys who create the experience that we enjoy so much, like having them talk about the creation process. It's inspiring, really. It's like
It really
it's
is.
really
amazing.
Yep.
it adds so much context to what you see on a daily basis.
There was a ton of questions prior that we had from the community that asked things that just, were not necessarily they were not appropriate for these two guys, right?
There were a ton of those.
And I just want to make sure that everybody knows that's listening, that these guys are designers, they're artists, they're they're not going to be able to answer some of the questions that people had.
There's hundreds of people that work on the game. Those questions are complex.
And I want to keep an open environment for more developers, that more designers, more artists to come onto the show and feel comfortable and feel welcome and be able to share their experiences and the art of making games. And so I really truly appreciate them. It's hard to come on here and be on a live show and and be able to feel like you're on a firing line. And I feel like this community is the right place for them to be able to share their
and also we'd like to start roasting people. So if we could roast some of them as well. They are not going to know.
We're drawing them in. We're being all nice.
Yes.
The next one, we're really going to hit them with that hard shit.
Oh, man.
Thanks, Brian.
The next one's going to be, but watch out.
It's so cool. It's so cool getting to see perspective on like the development and stuff like that, because it's just inspiring.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I would love to be able to speak to every team that's a part of creating this game, and just, the world art. Where does that start? Like, how do you, we're looking at Forsaken, and it's such a huge thing. Tangled Shore, Dreaming City. We've got the dungeon is massive. The raid is massive.
We didn't even ask about the dungeon today. The music, the art, the lore.
And my goal is to have an open mic, and invite as much of them to come on and share their experiences. I know Hops was recently at he did a panel discussion with Steve Cotton, and it was a great interview, a great opportunity for them to engage with a huge game developer conference. But I really want them to be able to speak to us in the community and create an environment where they can do that.
We forgot.
Yeah.
What did we forget?
We forgot to ask if they're which class they're rocking, man.
They're drinking snake.
No, but we need to know.
There's 3 questions.
If they inherently do not like warlocks as much as we don't like warlocks.
It seems to be the case. I don't know if you guys have tried that jump puzzle on warlock.
Yeah. We should have talked about that. It's only so much time in an hour.
Man.
Why do you hate warlocks?
Warlocks.
What do you got against warlocks? There are fine dressed friends.
We didn't ask them also the very important question. All the things that they could do in their life that only takes 2 minutes. Right? That should be an ongoing question on our podcast from now on. What can you accomplish in 2 minutes? And
I don't understand the context of that question.
Not beating a raid, right?
Sometimes 2 minutes.
Oh, my bad.
Sometimes 2 minutes is the difference between getting rewarded.
I thought we were done with the 2-minute jokes after.
It doesn't look to be the case. Doesn't look to be the case.
We're gonna keep going with
2 minutes. 2 minutes too late, like.
It is now.
Is it a saying?
Is it?
It's now.
It is, right?
Like a long.
Isn't it? I could have sworn it is.
Yeah, I feel like 2 minutes too late is kind of like
2 minutes. Let's Google it.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes too late.
Hopefully, Dado doesn't come up when I Google this.
I know that we're running pretty late here, but you guys want to do just a couple of dumb questions?
Let's do a couple questions.
Yeah,
let's
do some dumb stuff.
All right. I lost my place in my page. Hold on.
Jets nailed it. It's an Alanis Morissette lyric. The ironic song.
That's the thing.
It's ironic.
Yeah, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Silver Moose Gaming says, if you could make one wish to Riven, what would it be?
One wish to Riven.
One wish to Riven.
I
kind of just want to sit down and have a conversation with Riven, find out like how did you get taken? What's your actual form? Seeing as Ahamkar can change their form. How do you like to present yourself? Is this your ideal form, or do you like being a pretty lady sometimes?
And the pustule.
Wait, yeah, what is the
this
plus?
conversation,
Do you have boils?
No, where are you having this conversation? Do you foresee? Is this like a coffee
I'm
shop?
wishing for
Are
a
you
conversation with Riven in a
Yeah,
coffee
like
shop. Yeah, that sounds
coffee
great.
shop, on a
Coffee shop
couch,
sounds amazing.
a latte out, Riven's like sitting there
Hopefully she can
waxing
fit there.
poetic, right?
Breathing
All
fire.
right, cool.
I wish to have a conversation with her. Why do you have boils and why do we pop them? Why does it hurt so much? Are they
Yeah.
painful already?
Yeah,
I have many questions.
so many.
Hmm.
All right.
I would-
I'd really like to have a better understanding. I want to go to who's the original Taken. The first.
That's
Who
your
was the
wish?
first
Taken-
Taken?
The first. I want to meet the first Taken that took.
That
and
got
just-
took?
That
Isn't
got
that
took.
Oryx?
No.
And it's not Oryx.
No.
We're gonna have Bife on next week, and I'm gonna have him
He needs to
prepared.
tell us everything.
Yeah.
This is gonna
We
be a
have
long
so
show.
many
This
questions.
is just gonna be us listening to back tell stories.
It's literally, and then like, what about
Tell
this
us,
thing? Okay.
What
thank you.
about this? What about you? Can
All right.
ask your Boyle's question. I'm sure he'll know the answer.
All right. Since
I will.
I've got an actual wish that I would ask Riven
yeah,
for.
hit me with something actual.
I would ask Riven to give my hunter Blink back. That's my wish.
Can Riven do that?
Riven-
Probably.
Yes, absolutely. Riven can grant
probably.
wishes.
Yeah, you're right.
Of course, she'd give my
I
hunter
wanna
Blink
ask-
back.
All right, I've got one. Riven, I would ask Riven to allow me to cross save.
Yours is better. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with $17 trillion.
What's it with you? You really want
Lamborghini
bumper
racetrack
Yeah.
Saturdays, man.
Come on, man.
Lamborghini race. Can we make that a song? Can DCP make the Lamborghini racetrack song? We should.
I'll look
make that
into
a
it.
song.
Oh,
Make an
that's
album.
crazy.
Yeah.
Destiny lore
Lamborghini
sounds great,
racetracks.
but Lamborghini
Lamborghini
racetracks.
racetracks.
$17 trillion.
$17 trillion. As a scientific number, I came up with that after much thought.
Okay.
Hurricane Ken says, "Hey everyone, how's it going? Question: do you have a good luck charm? Do you have something that makes you play better or makes the experience more enjoyable?
Yes.
I like to hold my 3-month-old daughter when playing Crucible because I have to stay calm so I don't wake her.
Mm.
Hey, 3-month-old daughter.
I am unfortunately very superstitious.
I hope that 3-month-old daughter keeps giving out the good luck. I fear. I have fear. Get on
So
a losing streak, and all of a sudden we're looking at that daughter thinking,
There are a few things that I have to have in my wallet that I feel are good luck charms.
Well, we need to listen to this because Pope has the good RNG, so
That's
he might
true.
be onto something.
yeah,
It's
this
im-
is
it's-
true.
Take
these are
notes.
very important things.
Mm-hmm.
I must have a picture of my family.
Okay. I'm going to get a picture of your family.
Okay.
Picture of Pope's
Of your
family.
family, not my family. My wife, my lovely wife.
I already got that. I already got a picture of Pope's wife.
No, you don't. Got it. This was blessed by the Pope.
Oh, I don't think I have
Okay.
that. I could probably buy it on
Oh.
Amazon. It's probably on Amazon.
eBay, right?
Fair
I could
enough.
definitely get a fake
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I don't know if I could get a real one.
All right, and this
It's literally
$2
Pope RNG.
$2 bill.
This $2
I mean,
bill was originally put in my grandfather's wallet when I was born
$2 bill.
in
From
1977.
Pope's grandfather's wallet.
He put a $2 bill in his wallet, and then right before he passed away, he gave it to me, and it's been in my wallet ever since. And so this is an extremely important $2 bill, and it always goes with me. So those are my 3 items.
How much for the $2 bill?
You couldn't pay me
How much?
enough.
17
There's
trillion?
no dollar amount.
17 trillion?
No.
Wait, there's always a number, Pope.
Decent proposal. No, so I'm superstitious. I believe in good luck charms, and
I mean, I think we cracked it. The Pope literally blessed your RNG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
one-
think we just
mean,
have to go to the Pope.
The
I think that's
pictures
it.
of your family are really nice, but you've literally got the Pope's blessing.
Yeah, you got Pope blessed.
my mom went
what?
to Italy. My mom went to. I am named after the Pope. So a Pope, and so she had this when blessed by him, the Pope that I'm named after, and then that's been in my wallet ever since. It's been in there a long time, at least 25 years.
So we need to have a DCP trip to Italy to get
Yes.
I
blessed
like it.
by the
Pope
Pope.
RNG.
Italy meetup. at the Vatican.
We can all get Pope RNG. Yeah, this sounds great.
Dude, the food is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be the best meetup ever.
Find the meatball.
It's important. It's all of this stuff is linked, and I'm not going to get all too weird on this, but how you live your life, like what you do, it's all karma. It's all linked, and people call it like RNG, Pope luck, or whatever. I think that if you live a good life and you're good to people, good things happen to you.
So we're all bad people.
I don't know.
Briar's
Pope,
a really bad person.
I am.
Briar's RNG was awful.
That's true.
Yeah, man.
I am a bad person. Pope, although I gotta say, you once explained Pope RNG to me, and you said it's nothing special. I just play more than anybody else. This was back in Destiny 1. You were in a different situation.
Oh man, that was no lifing Destiny 1 for sure. That's where that's the truth of it, is that I played so ridiculously, for every god roll 1,000-yard stare I threw in Patrick's face, I had grinded 15 more that were crap.
Yeah.
So it was it's fun.
Steph, do you get any good luck charms?
Absolutely not.
No, nothing.
Might explain a lot. I'm just really bad luck in general. Don't ever let me order food for you, because no matter what, it will come messed up or missing or something. Every single time. I can order online where I'm just selecting from a drop-down menu on their website, and they will still mess it up.
Wow.
I don't know what I did.
Yeah.
Did something bad.
That's rough.
I have bad RNG and no good luck charms.
I got decent RNG, but I don't have a good luck charm specifically.
Yeah. Zabe says, all right, this one's a little bit of a story, and it's written a little weird, so try and stay with me.
Okay.
Oh boy. Okay. Focusing. Close your eyes.
Deej interrupts, holds a handkerchief up to his face, only to reveal he is Centauri from the last Starfighter movie. You guys remember the last Starfighter movie?
Yeah.
So maybe a little,
Not
a
really.
little too old.
Yeah.
So the rest of it isn't going to make any sense. I'm gonna move
It's
on.
already over. It's already over.
Says, what activity is socially acceptable but actually borderline psychotic?
What
Socially
activity?
acceptable but borderline psychotic. I'm gonna go road rage right off the bat. People like brag about their road rage. Like, oh my god, I got so mad. I like, this woman didn't use her blinker. So I laid on my horn for 15 minutes behind her. Like, that's fucking crazy. You need to get your head checked.
Here, I'm gonna flip that one just for a little bit. So, how good is it to be schizophrenic in today's day and age, with cell phones and those little earpieces? I mean, literally, you can walk around with these little earbuds talking to yourself, and everybody assumes that you're on a call, right?
I don't think it's good still, though.
No, but there's these people who walk around and they're just like,
still not good.
I mean,
maybe
it's
you get
gotta
called
be,
out on it less, but still not an enjoyable experience overall.
it's so acceptable now. Like, people do it in everywhere they go, and I just,
it's fucked though, because Pope is. What has happened is I found is that there's less human interaction between people, because everybody's like. I remember like going to a bar and you'd have a conversation with the people you went to the bar with. You'd start talking to the people like next to you at the bar, and but if you stayed the entire night at the bar, you'd meet like 15 different people. Now everybody is looking down at their phones. It's such.
This is why everyone has more social anxiety.
Everybody is so hyper focused on like their phone and maybe like their earphones when they're in public. Everybody's wearing headphones now. Like, everybody's so involved in just their own life that there's less like kind of interaction going on around you. And like, I don't know, it's not something I've put a lot of thought into, so I can't explain it well, but it's something I've noticed definitely.
Yeah.
I think honestly, we probably do a lot of things that is pretty messed up. We're destroying our oceans. That's probably not great.
Yeah, we're definitely wrecking our planet.
Yeah, that's socially unacceptable.
That's probably a little psychopathic, but acceptable by the public. Yeah. Now I'm sad. Continue.
I thought we were going to do funny ones, Briar. Now
all right,
like
most interesting ingredient says, what weird chemical scent do you like?
Chemical
Gas.
scent?
Oh.
That was his too. Gas. He likes gas.
You
I
like
love
gas?
the smell of gas.
Hmm.
As a kid, I used to stick my head out the window and my mom would fill up the tank.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm. I like the smell of this cleaning product, like Pine Sol.
Oh, that's not bad.
I
I
like
can't
the.
stand ammonia though. Like ammonia, I gotta like leave the room.
Mm. Yeah, gas definitely. I like the smell of gas. I also like NyQuil. I love the taste of NyQuil and the smell.
What?
Mm.
Yeah, but that's kind of licorice. Like if you like licorice, you're gonna like NyQuil.
No, it's
I like
ass.
licorice.
No, it's delicious. If I
So-
get
I like
sick
licorice.
and I have to
Tefty
take some
likes ass.
NyQuil, I am all about taking that NyQuil.
Hefty's secretly there, like, woo.
I am enjoying that cup of NyQuil.
I got sick.
I'm sick. Hell yeah.
Oh my god, how do you like the taste of that? It makes me nauseous. I have to like sit there and like I sit there with the cup like shaking, and I'm like,
Do you like vinegar?
do I like vinegar? What kind of vinegar? I like balsamic vinegar.
Like vinegar in general. Like for me, I
No.
can't stand vinegar. When I smell vinegar, I want to throw up. But when it comes to NyQuil, I'm like, damn, this is good.
So I have a story of like I have heard a ton of people. I've heard this question asked before, and I've heard a ton of people say that they really love the smell of.
Moonshine of medicine.
What's
I'm
that?
not drinking NyQuil on the side or on
Yeah,
a
you
weekly
are.
basis.
The slur.
It's once in a
your
long
purple
time
slurp.
if I'm feeling something and I need to like, need to sleep
That is
easy.
comment of the night right there. The moonshine of medicine.
It's delicious, man. I can't help it.
Have you heard people say that they love the smell of cut grass,
Yeah.
fresh
Yeah.
cut grass? To me, it makes me like projectile vomit. It makes me nauseous. Like I smell it and I go and my stomach starts flip flopping. I feel like I'm like seasick, almost like immediately.
Dude, cut
it's the
grass?
craziest thing. Yeah,
Cut
Interesting.
grass.
cut grass
Crazy.
will hit me in a way that I get like, oh, like nauseous. Like I want to puke.
Huh.
Interesting.
It's not a chemical smell, but you know when
It's-
you're like driving past a farm and there's like that faint smell of like cow manure.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
I find that somewhat agreeable.
No, I bet it's because Briar finds it quaint. He's like, oh, I'm in a quaint village.
Quaint
Quaint.
cow
Okay,
patties?
so
Cow poop.
Like, look, if it's like if it's overwhelming, if it's like real strong, then it gets bad. But if you're just like driving
No.
past a farm or something, and you know, like it's part of the bouquet.
the
bouquet.
bloom.
Briar, when next time you come and visit, we are going to take a drive down the 5 because flanked
I-5.
on between Bakersfield
It's-
and LA.
It's-
Like if you're
There's-
talking about like a slaughterhouse or something, like millions of cows with shit
yes,
all over.
I
the place.
am,
Yeah, it's-
and you will
I don't-
never
that's not
think
gonna
of the
be good.
smell again.
It's a-
I'm
Harris,
talking driving by like a scenic pasture and there's like 6 cows in there and you get like a little bit
it
of
doesn't
that.
happen in California. It doesn't. There's
Well,
feedlots of millions of
A
cows.
lot of avocados you got to fertilize down there. So
Yeah. No, they're all coming from Mexico. They don't. We don't make any money on avocados anymore.
no,
Nope.
the avocado business dried up.
It just doesn't make
Pretty
any
bad.
money. Yeah, my brother had to cut all this down because he couldn't make any money off of them.
Jeff McLean says you woke up to find you're the last person on Earth. Strangely enough, all the electrical, water, internet, utilities, everything still works. Right? It's like a magic apocalypse.
It's like a Stephen King book.
How will you spend the rest of your days?
Do whatever the hell I want, right? I can go bowling by myself. Just
Drinking-
bowl on.
Drinking
Go
NyQuil,
watch
man.
some movies.
Drinking NyQuil and driving Lambos.
First thing I
Nobody
do,
can you aggressive
And smelling
for
cow
drunk
poop.
driving.
Smelling cow patties.
I go butt ass naked everywhere I go.
Oh yeah, that's the end of clothing. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You're done.
Definitely.
That's done.
Done. Like I'm walking down the street the wrong way, butt ass naked,
Right.
wherever I want.
So your food quality is going to get worse and worse, right? As the
Yeah, that
apocalypse
sounds pretty
brings,
bad.
Right? At first, you're going to have
Mhm.
all like the kind of food that's out there, but that shit is going to rot relatively soon. And suddenly you're going to have to like figure out like you still got electricity and water and everything, so you can become like a farmer pretty easily. You got to figure this shit out in a hurry. So
Yeah,
to be honest, I think you can become a farmer.
you got to get good quick, honestly.
Yeah,
That's true. That
I don't
is
think
true.
you worry about that, Tefty, because
Oh, you
I
worry
think
about
you
getting good.
anticipate. No. I think you are figuring that by the time you're off of the canned foods and spam, because this is, remember, there's everybody there, right? Everybody in the world has died, so there's all this food, canned food and whatever, right?
Yeah.
So you can still
What's
eat
the
off
shelf life on that stuff?
spam forever. It never
Is it?
dies. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't want to eat spam though.
I mean,
Like just regular
Twinkies.
So you're just going to eat shit for the rest of your life.
Yes.
So it's going to be a short life.
I'm going down quick. I'm eating whatever I got, as much trash as possible. I'm eating 15 Twinkies a day. I'm dying of heart disease.
I mean, the longer it lasts in a can probably has a direct relationship to how shitty it is for you.
Probably. I'm not lasting that long. I'm going down quick. Yeah.
Spam and NyQuil.
Pope Bear, fast and naked. You guys are heading out of the park tonight, Twitch chat.
I'm really excited. I'm really happy that I got a chance to make it on the show. Thanks for holding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
of
for
course.
making
It was a great episode. I think that's going to do it, right?
Fun.
I think so.
I think
Yeah.
that's it.
All right. Well, I'm Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. Catch my streams, twitch.tv/Tefty Teft. And yeah.
I'm Briar Rabbit. You can talk to me over at the Briar Rabbit on Twitter. I stream every afternoon at 1:00, assuming my internet is working. I've had 4 cable guys come this week. 4 different appointments. Can you believe that?
That's rough, man.
I'm thinking about just like sending telegrams to YouTube. I'm mailing my videos in. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts.
And this has been Pope Bear. You can find me on Twitter at Pope Bear. And make sure to follow our podcast. It's at DCP_live. We tweet about the show and any relevant news that's going on. So make sure to hit that follow and notification button. You won't regret it. Next week, we have Bife coming on the show. He's going to be breaking down the lore. We are really excited. He's coming off some really cool things where he's been working with who did he just recently did a raid run with Tiggs, right? And Gigs, I'm sorry.
I like
Say
Tiggs.
Tiggs.
It's good.
Tiggs is pretty good. Tigger,
Tiggs,
he reminds me of Tigger. That's why
It's one of my co-hosts on CDP. Tiggs.
I am dyslexic, so don't give me that. No, Gigs, he was going to do a raid run, and I'm really excited about that. I want to hear about the lore that he's putting together for the podcast. And we got a really great set of hosts for October. I'm not ready to announce them yet, but one of the guests will be Dylan from DMG. So one of the community managers.
Wait, is DMG like a group, like Jethro Tull?
Mm-hmm. He is.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Aztec Cross Gaming, and
cool.
we had a couple other cool content creators that I've really excited about the work they've been doing. It's the second wave of content creators that are making Destiny content. So we're really excited to highlight them. Yeah. And so I also want to do a huge shout out to our patrons that support us every month. You guys are amazing, and we really appreciate you. We hope you're enjoying the pre-show chat. So if you're a member of Patreon, you can get access to the pre-show chat before we go live, as well as a bunch of other cool perks in the DCP Discord. So, and a huge shout out to our Twitch subscribers, and you guys help fund this whole thing and make it happen. So love you guys.
Yep. Thank you very much, guys. We're going to roll credits.
Thank you.
And then we will be back to read out subs live. Thanks for
Or
watching.
will we?
Or will we?
Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just disappear.
Find out in about a minute and a half. Yes.